Mickey Talks.
It's that time of day for episode 76. It is Mickey Talks.
We
I
are
am
77 today, actually.
Oh
man.
my gosh, that's right. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Wow, look at me. We've done so many I can't keep track now,
I know.
man. When do we stop counting?
That's a beautiful thing. I don't think we ever. I think that we need to celebrate the 100th show, though, in some way.
Yeah, by the way, we need
What do you think? That's a big landmark.
yes, it's huge, in fact, and you just threw something into my head which I can't let go now. I'm going to look something up real quick. Matt, let me ask you something. This is 77, right?
Show number 77, yeah.
All right, here's what we're going to do. So let's figure this out. We are 78, 79.
Show brought to you by Barnes Paving, by the way. No job too big or too small. Asphalt needs and paving needs, they are your people. So head out and see those guys handle pretty much any area around the Baltimore metropolitan area, right?
Yeah,
Parts of PA?
absolutely. They're the best.
Yeah.
Barnes Paving, BARNES paving.com. Driveways, sidewalks, parking lots, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Get the Barnes. They're going to take care of you.
Thought I'd take care of that while you were searching.
And Matt, I figured out that I believe the 100th show, if I did this right, is August 8th.
Really?
We will be at Natalie's.
Wait a minute. Are we on vacation on August 8th?
I forgot about that.
I think we are.
So let me take that week out of the equation.
We actually might be.
No,
we might be around for the 8th. There's a possibility, right?
Yeah, you're coming back, right?
Yeah, we need to figure that out.
On the 6th,
Yeah.
but that wouldn't be our 100th show then.
It'll be somewhere around there, but it would be
It'll
cool if
probably
that
be the
worked
next
out.
week.
Yeah.
It'll probably be like around the 13th or 14th or 15th.
Let's see if we
August.
can work it out at Natalie's. All right? Let's see if we can work that out.
If we take off
Yeah.
that whole week, it will be the following Friday at Natalie's, August 15th.
No, because if that Friday the 8th was going to be the 100th show, that means the 100th will be that following Monday. Right?
No, because we're off that whole week, and I counted us as doing shows that week.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So we just have to move that week, take it off the calendar. The following week,
Well, perfect then. Yeah, it'll be the following Friday.
August 15th is
Yeah.
our 100th episode.
Yep.
We got to do something for the listeners.
All right.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do our show at Natalie's that day.
Good idea, Mick. Yes. Come
No, I'm
join us at
kidding.
Natalie's and celebrate with us.
I want to invite a couple people out to that show to be on it. Number one is Andrea. You know Andrea.
Yeah.
She definitely coming out. I want to invite some past guests that have just been on and want to stop by. I'm just going to basically make it a open invite day, people to stop by, wish us well, blah,
Maybe
blah,
we'll set
blah.
up a little PA and have a couple people jam a tune or two or something.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll handle all this.
Yeah.
I'll get with the Natalie's Corporation,
Sure.
straighten that all out immediately.
Our centennial episode.
That's right. So, dude, did I have a morning?
Yeah, what'd you
So
do?
I woke up about 7:30, did some stuff at home. I was out of the door early, and I had to drive to Bel Air, then back to Perry Hall, then back to Bel Air, then back to Perry Hall, and I went and I stopped at the corner of Joppa Road and Bel Air Road this morning because there was a bunch of people out there protesting, and
Oh boy.
I was just like really curious about, I guess, where their heads are. What they were protesting. They had
Yeah.
signs and stuff. So I walked up and I started having a conversation with a nice elderly lady. I found out later she was 90. And I feel like we were having a good conversation. And we were questioning each other. And I
Did
asked,
you cuss somebody's grandmother out?
not her, not her. But then the guy next
Okay.
to her was listening.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere calls me a fascist and white supremacist.
Right.
And I said, how am I that? And he said, you voted for Trump. I went, no, I didn't. Like, you have no idea what I did. Right. And all this stuff. And then so I go, hey, here's an idea. Like, I'm trying to learn. That's why I stopped to ask you questions. And then another guy came over. It was a nice guy. Turns out then it got a little heated because then a lady came up to me and shushed me. And I looked at her. I said, lady, don't shush me. I'm 56 years old.
Shh.
I'm a grown man.
I got a show called Mickey Talks, lady.
Yeah. And, I just was amazed. And by the way, I just love talking to people
Yeah.
about how they feel. That's why I do the show. Like, I like getting to know what people think.
You didn't know you were walking into a trap?
I knew what I was doing,
Yeah.
but I did it with respect. And I did it basically with just like logic. Like, here's what I think. And then if you think, apparently, you're a white supremacist and a
Right.
racist
Yeah,
and a fascist.
unfortunately, like your common sense is crazy to some people, and their common sense is crazy to you.
No,
That's
it
the
wasn't-
problem.
I didn't even get to learn anything.
Yeah.
I was just told immediately.
Oh, you didn't even
Nah,
rebut your
well,
questions.
the one
or-
guy had a discussion with me, and we were going back and forth, and it went back to the fireside chats
Yeah.
with FDR. And then, it's just, I'm amazed that the idea of discussing your feelings or thoughts on something is so offensive to other people.
Yeah. I mean,
It's like, that's what I think. F off.
the people
Okay.
protesting of like they've made up their mind and that's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially when they're holding they're there holding a sign. They're committed, man. And the I guess them kind of having a rational conversation with you is probably out.
Some of them tried.
Right?
They were a couple of them were nice. Like,
Yeah.
just like, and then, a couple of them were just so ridiculous. Like, so ridiculous. And then you get mad because you're like, you're attacking me for asking you a question. Like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Like, you're above being questioned?
Well, it's kind of the point of what, like, why are you here protesting if you don't want to have a conversation with people? I never
Right.
understood that part.
Yeah,
of it.
what do you like? You're trying to bring awareness to your cause. I
Yeah.
show up and ask you what your cause is, and you tell me to F off.
Yeah.
Well, then screw your cause.
Right. I have questions.
Yeah, I have questions.
Let's talk about it. Tell me, educate me on
Yeah.
your point of view.
Just because you had a piece of, paper and a magic marker,
Yeah.
and you made a sign, you know what I mean? You're not John Adams. You're not Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
Like, relax. Explain to me what you're saying and why I should believe you and agree with you.
Yeah.
I tried.
You knew that was going to happen, though, didn't you?
I didn't think it would be to the level of like sheer outrage
Right.
simply by being,
Yeah.
it's just,
You don't get on the YouTubes much, do you?
no, because you know what? I don't like the idea anymore that I can't disagree,
Yeah.
like, or I'm something. If I disagree, I'm something.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%, by the way.
And I just, I'm getting to the point, Matt, where I'm not going to lie. It needs to be addressed. Some people with some outlets like this, TV people, radio people, need to just start talking from the center a little bit.
Well, look, here's the problem, man. There are probably a handful of issues that politics is feeding to us.
Of course.
Both sides.
Yep.
This is what we think. This is what we think. And people on this side and this side think these things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Everything else,
Yeah.
we're just people. We all want the same things. We all agree with each other, but we get hyped up about these certain issues, right?
So, Matt, now
Yeah.
that you mention that,
Yeah.
you can shoot me right down. I I wrote basically a speech pretending I was trying to form a third party. Want to hear it?
Go ahead, Elon.
Fuck off. Here it is. Okay. I've spent a lot of time listening, and I mean really listening to people on all sides of the political spectrum. And here's what I found. Underneath all the noise, all the manufactured outrage, there are these core beliefs that we all share. Things that when you strip away the partisan labels and the talking points, we actually agree on. Think about it. Who doesn't want their kids to have a good education and a fair shot at success? Who doesn't want safe communities where the families can thrive and play outside? Who doesn't want a government that's fiscally responsible and isn't wasting hard-earned money? These aren't Republican or Democratic ideals. These are American ideals. These are human ideals. We all want clean air, clean water. We all want affordable health care that doesn't bankrupt us. We all want infrastructure that works, bridges that don't collapse, and roads that aren't riddled with potholes. We all believe in personal freedom, even if we define it slightly differently. We all believe in accountability for ourselves and for our leaders. So why aren't we focusing on that? Why are we letting ourselves be pitted against each other over the 10% we disagree on when there's 90% of things we could build upon?
Yeah, man. And
Imagine a political party that isn't about rigid dogma, but about finding common ground. A party that prioritizes solutions over slogans. Look, We might not see eye to eye on everything, but we can definitely agree that putting food on the table, educating our kids, and having a safe place to live are non-negotiables. It's not about compromise in the weak sense of giving something up. It's about intelligent collaboration. It's about recognizing that there's strength and diversity of thought, but only if we're willing to actually listen and work together. It's about a political party that's less interested in winning arguments and more interested in winning for the American people. Because right now, no one's winning. We're all just losing a little bit of faith every single day. And I, for one, am ready to get that faith back. Are you with me?
Agreed, man. I think it all comes down to, I don't think there's any current politician right now that is going to save us.
No, of course not.
I think that they're basically, the two parties are two wings of the same bird.
Mm-hmm.
And their job is to get us riled up and angry, and they want to be our saviors. So we'll vote for them.
That's exactly it.
But we need to clean things up. I think that's we need a complete overhaul of our government. I think. We need term limits.
By the way,
first of
it's
all,
funny you say that. In my political party, no one is permitted to serve more than 6 years.
Yeah.
At the federal level.
Right.
So, for instance, let's say
the end of career politicians.
I become the senator from Maryland with my new party, and I'm elected to Senate. I'm going to serve 2 Senate terms, 6, 8. I'll do it in years, 8 years at the federal level in the same job. So if I become senator, right? Senators elected every 4 or 6, right? So I got 6 years to get shit done. If I can't get stuff done in 6 years, I shouldn't be there anyway. So I go in for my 6 years. Then the next guy comes in. Now, if I did good and my people like me, maybe I run for president, or maybe I get a job as an ambassador or something. But the seat I sit in, I did my job, I got up, I got out, and I went to another seat.
Well, I like that. It's the way it was supposed to be.
Absolutely.
People were supposed to serve for the people and then go back to their lives.
And go back to their communities.
Not get rich off of insider information.
I mean, it goes back to the beginning. Reporter asked Ben Franklin one time, "What'd you do in there?" He said, "We created the greatest form of government till you morons figure out how to ruin it and make money off of it."
Yep.
And it's the truth. So my party is a party of progress.
What's your party called, by the way?
I'm really stuck. I got a couple names I've been thinking of. And one of them is the Freedom Party. Another one is the GFY Party.
The GFY Party?
Yeah. Figure it out?
Yeah, I just put it together.
Okay, good. But no, I mean, like, I want a party that is diverse. I want gay people in my party. I want black people in my party. I want Hispanic people in my party. I want people that are religious in my party, people that are atheists in my party. And what I want to do is build a party where we all kind of look at each other and go, hey, you know what? We're different, but I enjoy being around you. Hey, you think differently about something. You like sleeping with men. I like sleeping with women. Other than that, we don't really have much differences, do we?
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, man. People don't, they need to shut the news off.
Yeah.
And just be people again.
Yeah, that's the
and get
problem.
To know their neighbor.
Right here.
Talk to people.
This cell phone right here is what has ruined all of the discourse or caused all of the discourse.
Yeah, it's gotten ugly.
It's beyond ugly now. I mean,
breaking up families and longtime friendships.
I mean, if I told
how many friends have you seen just like ditch people off their Facebook page?
Dude, I mean,
over the last few years, right?
I don't.
It's crazy.
Could you marry a girl that's diabolically politically opposed to what you believe?
Well, I mean, it would be tough, of course.
See,
right?
I don't think it is. How often do you and your wife sit around talking about social justice issues?
We talk about a lot these days.
Do you really?
But in the beginning, there were a lot of things that we kind of disagreed on.
But did she learn?
We stayed married, and
she learned to love and respect you despite your differences. Correct?
For sure.
Now imagine if it's me and you as buddies, and you say, and I'm putting us. I'll put myself as the lib here. I'm the liberal, crazy. I hate everything. You're the conservative lunatic who's religious, and Yet somehow we look at each other and we go, okay, we can't be friends anymore.
Well, you know what's crazy? I know for sure that there are people in my life, close people, who do not have the same
Me
political
too,
views
of
that I have,
course.
agreeing on these bigger issues, and I just don't talk about it with them, and we're fine.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the problem too, Matt. I think we have to find a way to discuss things with each other and be able to go, you didn't sell me. You know what I mean? I mean, if a salesman
there
sat
are
down,
those people that I can do that with,
right? I mean,
but
you
there
and
are
I
those,
have,
there are those that you can't do that with either,
right? But are those people even welcome into the conversation anymore?
I don't know, man. Some of these people I've been friends with for decades.
Yeah.
And I'm not about ruining a friendship, because I think there's a lot more there than these plastic issues that are. They're when I say plastic, I just mean that it's superficial when it comes to our personal relationship. Really,
I hear you. I do. I just, when we stop talking and we just start yelling, no progress.
Yep.
No progress. You know what I mean? Unless somebody's keeping notes, and nobody is. And that's the problem. And I want it to be fixed. I'm sick of seeing people fight over shit that has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't. There's so many things that just are lit. There are things right now happening that are crazy on both sides. When we stop talking about it, we start being controlled, and I feel like we're being controlled right now on both sides. I just don't like it.
Oh,
I don't
we
like
are.
it.
I mean, the media on both sides has a slant, and that's what each side takes as gospel. And most people are just reading headlines and then regurgitating talking points back and forth to each other, and
Agreed.
Nothing ever gets solved.
Yeah. I always say this: write a list of 10 things that really matter to you, really matter, and then do the research.
That have really affected your life
That
this year.
really affects your life day to day.
Day to day this year.
It's almost impossible to come up with 10 things
Yeah.
that affect you. Most of this has to do with people getting upset for other people.
Well, that's true. And we do have a responsibility to vote for, I think, the country's well-being.
First, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
For other people, I mean.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into real news, Matt.
Shut off the news and turn on That's the Facts, Matt.
That's right. Brought to us by Barnes Paving. You know the name, BARNESpaving.com. They're simply the best. That's all I can say. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the most respected man on this company. I can tell you that. The most respected news guy on this show.
It's two of us.
That's the facts,
Matt.
What do we got, buddy?
So, man, the Texas flood death toll continues to climb. They're at 119 right now, and it's expected to keep rising. That's because there's still over 150 people missing. And AccuWeather estimates the cost of the Texas flood is up to $22 billion. The weather forecasting company's figure is not an official estimate from federal, state, or local officials, but they say their estimate includes damage to homes, businesses, recreation facilities, power outages, road closures, and physical and mental health care costs.
My God, man.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you saw this, man. I got video here.
Yeah, I got to grab something while you're playing that video. Is it long?
All right, maybe it's not in here.
Okay.
Yeah, so the camera's back on me anyway if you got to do something.
Yeah,
there.
I just got to grab something.
So the New Mexico flood is happening now. I don't know if you heard that, man. You really hate to see this as we're still dealing with the Texas flood, but there's a flash flood that swept through the mountain resort town near Lincoln National Forest in New Mexico yesterday, and it killed at least 3 people, including a 4-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy. There's also an unknown number of injuries as well. Heavy, slow-moving storms dumped rain over wildlife burn scars from last year, triggering fast-moving floodwaters that left residents trapped and promoted dozens of water rescues. The National Weather Service issued a flash flood emergency for the area at 3 p.m., urging residents to seek higher ground. And the river reached a historic crest of over 20 feet, sending a wall of water rushing into the town. And they apparently had a similar flash flood like this last year as well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, these tragedies, these horrible stories, I mean, they're just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And, you realize that's even getting politicized now, Matt. The floods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just what
That
regarding
people-
like the prep for the
Well,
floods, or
Yeah, people say that Trump ignored it because the Texas one, because they had ideas, they could have used this or that and saw it come. Like I don't understand people.
here's the New Mexico flood, by the way.
Good God.
Awful. Yeah, they are. You know, I guess it is a little bit political when you got to figure out for your area
Yeah.
how you're going to prepare for stuff like this, because this wasn't the first time. But it's heartbreaking either way, and especially since
It's
we're
just
dealing
tragedy.
with this massive flood that's happening in Texas.
Yeah. I mean, it's brutal right now. I mean, it is. I don't think that this. I think the planet's doing something right now. Don't you?
I mean, Mother Nature has had her way with us this weekend, man, for sure, over the last week or so.
Yeah, but I mean, in general, the last couple of years, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like timing's off along the year with weather. Like winter is like a little bit milder, summer's more scorching. Maybe it's just, cyclical. I'm not well versed in this stuff.
Yeah.
And I know weather patterns come and go, and certain year stretches, or you have a 4-year stretch where you had brutal summers, and then it's normal for a while. So maybe we're just in a weird cycle, and everything that's going
Yeah,
on.
I don't know. I mean, I noticed what you noticed, like in our area, which is the Northeast.
Yeah.
We're in Maryland, and I noticed that we really have had much of a winter over the last decade and a half or so.
I mean, we had a couple blizzards in there, but
it's pretty mild compared to when I was a kid, I'm saying.
Bingo.
And then the tornadoes, there were never any tornadoes when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Not many anyway.
Yeah, not up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just wild. I mean, maybe the planet's saying, hey, sons of bitches, knock it off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mother Earth don't care.
She don't give a rat's ass, as she shouldn't. Listen, we're just living on her.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Oh, of course.
And that thing thinks.
She's going to be here long after we are.
And believe me, the planet's got a brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, it knows what's happening to it. It's a living organism.
Yeah, it will heal itself, and
damn right it will.
Whether it includes us in the plan or not.
And it'll shake off parasites.
Yep.
And we may be one.
So there's a little bit of news with the Diddy sentencing hearing. They had a hearing scheduled on Tuesday to argue for Sean Diddy Combs to receive an expedited sentencing date. That was adjourned with no arguments heard and no new date set. They initially aimed for an earlier date, September 22nd, but both sides agreed to the judge's preferred October 3rd sentencing, which was officially scheduled in court filings. Combs was convicted on 2 prostitution-related charges, but acquitted of the racketeering and sex trafficking. Defense had cited the 2018 death of his partner, Kim Porter, as an exceptional circumstance to speed things up, which I don't quite understand, but
yeah, I don't get that either.
Yeah. But they're going to stick to October 3rd. So I guess around the fall, we're going to start to hear.
I hope he dies before then.
You think that's a good chance of that happening, huh?
I mean, I don't know if he'll get killed. I just hope he dies. I hope he gets like something weird and he just kills him. Really, I hope he breathes in some toxin, and then tomorrow we hear, oh, Sean Diddy Combs found dead in his cell.
Well, I hoped at least that, if he got off on all these charges, that public perception would at least be, his reputation would be hurt. But it sounds like there's still a lot of Diddy fans out there.
Oh, no doubt. Of course there are. Did you see the court scene when he was found, when the judgment came in and people are out front asking to be in the free
squirting
calls?
baby oil on each other?
Yeah. What do you do with those people at that point?
Well, the Philadelphia's trash strike has come to an end. Did you know about this?
They had a trash strike? Oh, I did know that. I did.
Yeah, I mean, look at their streets here. After more than a week of garbage piling up on sidewalks and in vacant lots, a tentative agreement has been reached between the city and its largest municipal workers union. Mayor Parker said a tentative agreement will put an end to a work stoppage that began June 30th. So for a couple of weeks, the city has just had, look at this. I mean, tons of garbage just piling up.
I'm going to be honest. I've been
all over the streets.
I've been to Philly a lot.
Yeah.
It always looks like that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love Philadelphia.
Now, can you imagine?
Actually.
I mean, the city had designated several sites all over the city for residents to take their own trash on designated days with curbside trash and recycling collection suspended. If you don't have a pickup truck or something, what are you gonna do? You gonna shove it in the back seat of your car?
Yeah, no, it's insanity. I agree with you 1,000%. It's literal insanity. It's crazy. I'm glad they fixed it though.
I too, yeah. Man, they Mary Lou Retton, her case. They just released the body cam footage. Do you even want to see this? It's so sad.
No.
We're gonna skip that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I didn't even know she died.
No, she didn't die. She was arrested for DWI.
Oh, they got that footage.
They got that footage. You want to see it?
Who was it? Mary Lou Retton?
Yeah.
No.
You don't want to see it?
Nah. I mean, it's sad for her.
She's like on oxygen and failed this test. They handcuffed her. Allegedly at the station, she told police, "I'm West Virginia's first daughter." The former Olympic gold medalist, 57, later pleaded no contest to a non-aggravated DUI charge. She was fined $100, the standard penalty for first-time offenders in the state. Through her attorney, Retton apologized, saying, "What happened was completely unacceptable. I make no excuses. To my family, friends, and my fans, I've let you down, and for that, I am deeply sorry."
I'm going to say something right there. That's commendable.
Yeah, for sure.
When you take accountability, ask for forgiveness, and work on never doing it again.
She wasn't really in that video, but yeah.
She wasn't really? What do you mean?
She was like, "I ain't drunk."
Oh,
essentially.
Yeah. What y'all talking about? Ain't no problem with me.
Yeah.
I can forgive people like that,
For sure.
for something like
You take
that.
full responsibility.
I'm not forgiving Diddy.
First time.
Yeah. I'm not forgiving Diddy.
Yeah.
I don't care what he says.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's a little different between, having too much to drink and driving, which is horrible.
Yeah.
Right.
They found like a box of wine in her car. I think it was. She had a Porsche.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's next level depression, man, and addiction.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a huge problem in this country. And we treat it like they're spousal abusers. You know what I mean? It's a real humanitarian problem.
Well, you mean the mental illness, the depression, right?
Well, whatever it is that's fueling that alcoholism and fueling that desire to be numb.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough though when they're behind the wheel of a car.
No,
you're endangering other people.
Hey, man, it's dead wrong.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, let's learn from it and say, instead of figuring out how to set up DWI traps and all that, which I get, keep the road safe, officers. I'm with you, right? And if I'm drunk and driving, lock my ass up.
Yeah.
No doubt. But after it happens, why not go back and just say, "Hey, listen, we're not going to throw you in jail, but you are going to go to therapy for 1 year, once a week." I'm not doing that. Well, then go to jail for 6 months. Which one do you want? Right? And let people get in there and start saying, so part of your punishment is getting better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In those situations.
Some people don't want it though,
Don't want what?
They don't want the help.
Well, then fuck them. They go to jail.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't get to say, I'm not going to confront this.
My point is, that's letting some people off too easy if they don't want the help, right?
What's letting them off too easy?
Giving them that option.
If they don't want the help, they're not going to get that option.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got to actually do it. And it's almost like probation. If you miss your therapy, you're in trouble.
Yep.
Like, why do we have to check in with a probation officer who's literally marking you off? Okay, they're in the state. But why not say to that person, "Oh, you got to spend an hour a week talking to somebody that's going to help you"?
Yeah. I guess just resources, right?
Yeah.
It's expensive.
I bet it's cheaper than jail.
Think?
Feeding somebody and housing somebody 365 days a year, as opposed to sending them
of course,
to.
That's all private industry, thoe, isn't it?
In a sense, but it's funded by us.
It's funded by taxpayers. A lot
Right.
Of it.
I mean, it's horseshit. These are the things that I think politicians should start saying. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're a conservative, are you really against people getting healthy and getting help?
Yeah.
And anybody that is that way, you're not a conservative.
Well, I hope she does, man. It
Me too.
totally breaks my heart to
It's
see her that
American
way.
hero. It's America's sweetheart.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want America's sweetheart to be a drunk.
What did she win? She won.
She won the gold medal.
Yeah, she definitely won a gold medal. It was at least one, right?
I think she won a couple.
I think she did too.
But I mean, do you remember her? I mean, she captured America's heart. That
Yeah,
little
of
tiny
course.
thing.
Yeah.
My size.
Yep.
Smaller even.
Yeah, I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. Well, I was young enough to have a crush and old enough to know what it meant. But, you know, at the same time, you're right. She's wrong. She's got, you know, but why not say to her, hey, Mary Lou, look, obviously there's things going on. We're going to get you some help here.
Yeah.
You know, get yourself, we're going to put you in therapy.
I hope she does, man.
Yeah.
So there's a federal judge that struck down an FTC rule that would have required streaming services to make it easy for us to cancel.
Say that again.
Yeah. So in a blow to consumers, streaming platforms won't have to make it easier to cancel subscriptions.
What a joke.
Yeah. A federal appeals court on Tuesday struck down the FTC's click to cancel rule, which would have required companies to provide users with a simple cancellation mechanism to immediately halt all reoccurring charges and get their consent to convert to auto renewals and free trials to paid enrollments. They were supposed to be able to enforce this starting July 14th, but essentially what happened is they didn't play by the rules.
Yeah,
the
FTC.
FTC.
Yeah, FTC doesn't have stock in Netflix. So
Well, apparently they were supposed to issue a preliminary analysis that includes an assessment of the effectiveness of the measure and alternatives to the proposal, so that companies could look at this, but they didn't do that. And the FTC commissioner, the current commissioner, Mark Meter, says the Biden FTC cut corners and didn't follow the law, and that's essentially why it was squashed. They didn't follow the protocol.
Oh, God. Yeah, great. Another politicized thing. Put a button on your goddamn website that says cancel now.
Yeah.
How hard is that?
I agree. It's awful, man. I mean, you ever try to cancel something and it's
Dude,
like, I can't do this?
I've been paying for a gym membership because I can't figure out how to cancel it. I've been zero
Why don't you
times.
just go to the gym, man?
I don't know.
That's
Because
the answer.
It's less than $1 a day, honestly. And it's stupid, I know.
Yeah.
But you're right. But the fact that there isn't a cancel now button simply sitting there, you know, if you get an email, it by law, it has to have unsubscribe.
Yeah.
It just, you know, when the money influences you, you make dumb
I
decisions.
mean, that judge is just, I'm sure I don't know whether the judge agrees or not. I hope they do, but I think they're just playing by the rules.
Whatever. I think they're all morons. I really do. Want to say hi to Rumble.
Oh, yeah. We got to give a
Dude,
shout out.
almost 100 people in there watching us right now.
Is that right?
Yeah, we got to thank somebody from yesterday. Who was that? We're learning how to do this, Rumble.
I'm looking for it right now.
I want to thank Tired. It looks like 22. I can barely read this because it's so small. In here, there's so many nice people. I really can't
so we
read
have to
it.
thank Dragonfly62, who gifted us 5 subscriptions yesterday.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. And man, what a great
Talking to our Rumble people, by the way, for everybody else listening on other platforms.
Yeah, if you're listening on YouTube, thank you so much. Facebook, thank you. All the audio subscribers, thank you so much. But Rumble has a thing on it where they can donate on the spot to the show and to you. And the people have just been so kind and so amazing. And we are overwhelmed by basically a foreign audience. And what I mean by that is most of our audience, Matt, is local. And most of this Rumble audience is national and around the globe. There's a couple Australians on here. It's interesting.
It's great.
You know, I don't know what time. Let's figure it out. So what would that be, like 3:30 in the morning in Australia?
I don't know. I think we estimated
22
it was
hours,
about 22 hours ahead of time.
So it'd be that would be 3:35 in the morning right now.
Is that what it is?
Right? No.
Don't know.
No, same time almost. Be 3:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, because they're almost 24 hours. It would be the same time, different day.
Yeah, right.
I love it.
So Gary Coleman's ex-wife apparently didn't do well on a polygraph test about Gary's death. So there's a new show premiering.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah. There's a new show premiering this week on A&E called Lie Detector, Truth or Deception, where a former FBI agent named George Olivo gives people polygraph tests.
Wow.
And the first episode puts Gary Coleman's ex-wife, Shannon Price, on the hot seat and asks her questions about the fall that led to Gary's death in 2010. The short answer here is she didn't do well. You want to see this clip of her?
Yeah, but did she kill him at the end of this, Matt? Is that what
I don't
they're
know,
assuming?
man. This is the cliffhanger, I guess.
Oh my God!
These are the results on the critical questions.
Correct.
I got to come over to watch. Put the
The
camera
exam
on
had
you.
to do with Gary's fatal fall.
Okay.
Yeah, check this
I
out.
asked you the following relevant questions on this test. Did you physically cause Gary's fall? You answered no.
Right.
I also asked you, did you physically cause Gary to fall that day? And you answered no. And the results are, you failed that exam with deception indicated to those relevant questions.
How you
Say
gonna
that again,
kill
you failed the exam
Gary
regarding
Coleman?
Gary's fall.
I don't know, man. I mean, dude,
What are your thoughts?
I
that's
mean,
what she says. She says
There's
it's
two
false.
things
She
I know
denies
for
it,
sure.
of course. Yeah, that show is going to premiere this Thursday on A&E if you want to check it out and see the full thing here. But that would be crazy to find out that Gary Coleman was murdered by his wife.
dude.
Of course, you got to look at these polygraph tests too. We should get a polygraph person in here, Mick, as a guest.
No. No.
Put you on the hot seat, man.
Would you do it?
I'd do it. Yeah.
You
I
would?
got nothing to hide.
Yeah. I mean, like, what kind of questions, though?
I don't know. Maybe
I
we'll,
think-
maybe we'll pick each other's questions.
I think what we do, I mean,
None
Yeah.
of that is permissible in court. Number one. So I
Right.
don't know that she's going to get. Is she going to get arrested for this? Can they even arrest her on a polygraph?
I don't know how it works, Matt.
I don't know
I
how it works
swear.
either.
I
Yeah.
swear.
Maybe we'll just get a polygraph person in here to show us the gear and tell us how it works.
Nah. But I mean, that. Yeah, I mean, I would take it to see if that thing's accurate. If you know what I mean. We're not getting personal though, right?
We
I
could.
mean, what kind of question would you want me to answer? Ask me a question that you would like to know the answer to with me on a polygraph. Just one you'd like to know.
One that I'd like to know.
Yeah. If you
Um,
picked questions for me and there was a lie detector, what's the first thing?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I'd have to really think about it. What would you ask? What would you want asked about me? Can you think of anything?
Yeah. I would ask things like, do you believe Mickey, if you were being asked, I would
Yeah.
say, do you believe Mickey has your best interest at heart with this show? I would ask a
That's a
question.
good question. Yeah.
Right?
That would be a good question to ask you too.
Yeah.
I already know the answer for you though. I think I do anyway.
Whether or not I have your best interest at heart?
Yeah.
What
yeah.
would you answer?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. And I would answer that as well.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, of course I want, that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get asked questions like, have you ever lied?
Yeah.
I'm going to answer honestly. Yeah.
Well, I've got a buddy who works for a big 3-letter government agency,
yeah.
and I think it's every 5 years he needs to go in there and take this test,
Ooh,
and it's grueling, man.
I can't imagine.
I mean, they grill you about every
Yeah.
little personal detail of your life. I mean, your sex life, your your finances, whether you've ever lied or stolen, or every single little thing. And he's an honest guy, and it's brutal for him.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, because I do think as humans, there are things that aren't even necessarily bad, but they're private to you.
Yeah.
For instance, and I'm not asking you this for real, but if I were to ask you a question and say, what are your and your wife's favorite sexual position?
Right.
There's no wrong answer, but you don't want to tell that, right?
Right. We don't want our personal business out over the air.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I have with these sort of setup tests.
Yeah. So
If-
maybe we'll bring somebody in we don't like.
Yeah. Yeah. Who we picking?
Or we're just going to volunteer to come in and willing to go through the ringer for us.
What if we get a couple that thinks there may be infidelity going on?
Oh, jeez.
We have like a Maury Povich kind of thing.
Who would agree to that, though?
I think a lot of people would.
Yeah.
Yes. I think if they were able to sit, especially an innocent person.
The
If you're-
polygraph came back. and you are not the father.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but could you imagine like I've been in situations where I was being accused of doing things that I wasn't doing, and it's maddening. And while I tried to be patient because I understand other people's insecurities, and tried to prove things like be accountable for my time and where I was and who I was talking to, it's very frustrating. So if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, will you take a lie detector test and prove you're not doing this?" I'd be like, "Hell yeah."
Yeah.
So maybe we don't set this up to be something that makes someone look bad. Perhaps we use the lie detector to make someone look good.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
it's also called a truth detector.
Right. But you can, I hear anyway. I don't know the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd have to ask the
You can
person.
manipulate it?
You can manipulate it.
I mean, dude, come on. They're catching world-class thieves. I mean, you'd have to be such a sociopath.
Yeah, but why is it permissible in court then?
Why isn't it?
Yeah, if it's not accurate.
Because there is knowledge of how to beat them. It's a complicated.
Essentially, what they are doing is just getting your heart rate, your breathing rate. I think your sweat. Right?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you something. You can ask any polygraph guy this question.
Yeah.
If while you are in the test and you constantly sort of open and close your sphincter, it sends a message to, I'm not kidding you, to the machine.
Right.
That it allows it while you're answering. If you're just doing it, it's the same sort of effect. It allows the thing you can beat the machine by doing that.
That's the way to beat it? Who knows how to do that?
If only there was a device. Let me look something up, Matt, because I saw this on a show, and I want to make sure I wasn't just hoodwinked.
Do we know any polygraph people? I don't know if I do or not.
I mean, I know a ton of law enforcement people that could probably get access to that. But here, let me ask this question. I'm going to ask, is clenching your sphincter muscle a tool to help you beat a lie detector test?
That's going to be on your search history forever, Mick.
Let's see. Look, AI. It's a common misconception.
And you've been practicing all this time, dude. What a waste of time.
Let me tell you something. I've been doing Kegel exercises with my butt. I don't know what they are, but I've heard ladies mention the Kegel.
I'm so sorry, Mick. You've wasted all this time.
Damn it. I really thought that I was right about this. While it is commonly considered it causes physiological changes, these changes are often irregular and can be distinguished from the patterns associated with truthfulness or deception. So I don't know, but I know this much.
Where did I see that? I think I saw something somewhere where somebody would they would either sit on a tack or they would prick themselves with a tack every time they were asked a question.
Yeah.
So that way, I guess,
you escalate.
Things would jump every single time. Every question.
Yeah.
But they're onto that stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I always like the questions in the beginning that are easy. Is your legal name Michael Coachella? Yes. And then you feel nervous. Like, they better not have lied to me. It better be my name.
So they probably get a baseline for everybody's nervousness.
Of course.
I'm sure.
You register answering truthful.
Yeah.
Then they know that's your truth. And then when you lie, it goes over there and they're like, oh, some bitch is lying.
Yeah.
Let's get him out of here or whatever, or, kill him. And, I think that in the long run, I would love to do a truth detector instead of a lie detector. So here's what I would like to say to anyone that listens or watches. If you're in a situation and you want to know truth, write to us at mickeytalkspod@gmail.com. Yeah. And we will gladly look into this.
Yeah. So to explain more, if you're, like you said, if you're in a relationship, maybe somebody thinks you're cheating and you're not, or somebody thinks you did something wrong.
Someone thinks you stole something
and
from them.
You didn't.
Or someone thinks you said something about them that you didn't and they won't forgive you.
Yeah.
We'll let you both come in here and we'll do the test and we'll let you ask the questions you want to ask that'll free it for you.
Yeah.
I think that could be a cool bit.
I think it'd be great. Yeah.
We call it the truth detector. Now, if a dude's dumb enough to come in,
even better if it was figuring out if it was somebody's baby, though.
No, it definitely would be. But we don't have that. You have to do DNA for that, right?
I guess you could. Yeah, you would do DNA. But yeah.
Do we have a DNA department in the company? I don't know if we do
Yeah,
yet.
we might. We'll talk
Yeah.
to our partner about
Yeah,
that.
I'm really enjoying the electromagnetic division we just opened up.
So we've been talking a lot about AI and students using AI. Well, now professors are now cheating on tests by using AI to grade them. Somebody said this. Somebody said, quote, "It's just bots talking to bots." AI is running rampant on college campuses as students and professors alike lean on the tech. As AI becomes more commonplace in higher education, students are now raising concerns about professors' use of AI tools for tasks like grading and lesson planning.
Wow.
College professors told Fortune that the use of AI for tasks such as class prep and grading has become pervasive. Some students argue that this diminishes the value of their education and raises transparency and fairness issues. Says the kid who's using AI to write his report. Right?
It's hilarious.
It's crazy.
Hey, I just got a text, Matt.
Yeah.
Somebody very close to the show.
Okay.
In fact, the number 3 person here at the show.
Yeah.
His daughter was a polygrapher for the
Get
government.
out of here. Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Oh my God.
I just got that text.
Wow.
So it may be something very easily we could figure out. Now, getting a hold, I don't know if they
Does
have a
Does
lie.
she have a lie
I
detector?
don't know that answer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can rent one?
I don't know. Never tried. Never.
That'd be a great thing to rent. You
A
can
lie
rent
detector?
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep it around the house for a week. Oh, you did the dishes? Here, strap this around your arm. You know what I mean? Oh, your homework's done?
Yeah.
Have a seat, sweetheart. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. That would be, be a crazy childhood for
I
sure,
do
man.
think that bit of truth detector is a cool idea.
Yeah, I like that too. I like truth detector.
Everybody always wants to use them to catch someone lying.
Yeah.
Let's use them to see if they're telling the truth.
All right, let's do this, man. Can we get a lie detector in here?
Let me see if that person has responded. Not yet. We will find out. But man, you think about this though. Like, think about how many marriages could be saved, how many relationships, how many business relationships. You think somebody ripped you off or stole from you or did something
Yeah.
behind your back?
Don't you think that most of them are probably people have really wronged that person though? Like when you have that kind of like
No.
that
No.
inkling about it.
No, I think, especially in relationships, I think people get things in their head, and because it's so vulnerable to them and because of their own insecurities,
Yeah.
it becomes obsessive. You have to know. And then when the poor person who's not doing, you can't prove a negative, right? We all agree with that. So I didn't do it. Well, prove it. How do I prove what I didn't do? Like, that's the hard part of that. And I've been around people.
Yeah,
I've
but
been
man,
in
if
relationships.
you don't believe your partner, that's tough, man. That's a whole other issue.
But Matt, there are times where I believe extenuating circumstances can make things look a different way. For instance, there are some people that I am one. If someone texts me or calls me, even if it's a friend or you or whoever, I am diligent about responding promptly. Even if I say, hey, can't talk right now, give me an hour, text me back, or I pick up the phone, I go, hey, I'm walking into the store, give me 5 minutes. I try not to just ghost people. I do it because, you know what I'm doing 18 hours a day right now. You're in the loop.
Sure.
And so it's not that I'm being rude or anything. So I've always been a guy, like if I'm in a relationship and I get that, hi, what are you doing? Or where are you? I try to respond right away.
Yep.
When that's not reciprocated, that lack of respect is a red flag. And for some people, they need to quantify why they aren't being responded to. And the natural cause of that usually is that person, A, doesn't care about me, B, there's someone else, C, whatever. So I'm just saying that, like, there are times where situations can arise and both sides are truly innocent, but because of extenuating circumstances or insecurities in other, it's just a nice way to go, I get it. Like, I'm sorry that you felt that way, but I promise you.
It'll make for a great show. So if you have something like that, contact us and we're going to see if we can work this this lie detector situation out. Right?
Yeah, you know who I want to get on the show and
Who?
do that with? Joe Rambo.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know why?
Why Joe?
I'll tell you why. Because I want to know if he's really, if he likes us, or he's just loving the fact that we're dumb enough to go on his show and then get annihilated while we're on there. You know what I mean?
I think he's always been
he's
kind
the
to us.
greatest.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
By the way, thank you to Jacko. If I'm reading this wrong, Jesco Riot, $5. You can have my wife on if I can. I'm sorry. I think this is a rant. I don't know how they work, but I'll read what he said. Yeah, I can have. You can have my wife on if I could submit the questions. Yeah, and make one of those questions.
I'm sure she'll agree to that.
Yeah, make one of those questions. Who do you find more attractive, Mickey or Matt? Let's ask it the other way though. Who's uglier, me or Matt? We used to do that on
Awful
the morning
question.
show. I used to love asking people that question. Who's uglier, me or Scott? And I bet we did it 50 times.
Yeah.
And we would not let people off the hook. You have to pick who's uglier. People go, neither one of you are ugly. And I go, yeah, I understand that. But one of us is clearly more attractive. So which one is the uglier one? It's not fair to say it that way. I understand which one is. And then, when they go, you are, you go, oh, you son of a gun.
All right, I'm in.
It's
I'm
fun.
in.
Who cares?
All right.
You're going to get picked. Yeah, I'm going to get picked every time as the uglier one. Believe me. You're handsome.
You're a handsome guy too.
Oh yeah,
man.
I'm just another Brad Pitt over here.
Oh man, so I don't know if you heard about this awful tragedy at Milan's airport. There was a tragic and horrifying incident that shut down Milan's airport today when a man was sucked into the engine of a departing plane.
What the?
Yeah.
Wait, he was inside the plane.
No, he was. What happened was he was. Authorities say the Airbus, operated by a low-cost airline, had just departed the gate and was taxiing to the runway when a man breached security on the tarmac and ran right up to the plane and was sucked into the engine and killed. So,
Holy
investigators
shit.
are saying that the man was not a passenger or an airport employee, and it's believed that he may have intended to take his own life. But good God.
There's
Aren't
a lot
there
easier ways to
do that?
go, man.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Fucking epic.
Oh my God, what a way to death by misadventure.
Dude, yes.
That's the way I would have go.
That's the way I would go. yeah. I'm getting sucked into a plane. You said sucked. I miss Beavis and Butthead, dude.
I do too, man. They came back for a brief season, but they couldn't play any of the music videos because they didn't have the rights to it. That's what bummed me out.
Bullshit, man.
But the episodes were brilliant.
They were hilarious.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Mike Judge.
Yeah.
Interviewed him in Philly.
Dude, I interviewed him one time.
Yeah.
That guy is an absolute genius.
Yeah.
Did you ever see him on David Letterman explain the voices of Butthead?
No, I don't think. I vaguely remember what you're talking about. I don't remember why. How we got it though.
It was a neighbor.
Oh.
And the guy listened to his TV really loud, and the guy would just sit there all day, and then he would be like, "That's stupid," like in his and then he would go, and then he would say dumb things like, she's hot. Like, and then when he was doing the show, he's like, that guy's voice is mine.
You know what bums me out, man? He did like an ID for me where he was like,
yeah,
this is Butthead.
Yeah.
You're listening to Matt Davis.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't have it anymore.
Are you serious?
I'm so mad.
Dude, do you know, I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
I don't have one thing from any moment I was ever on the radio.
I know, man. I do, but
I have zero.
Way less than a lot of people in the radio that I know that kept everything and all the pictures and all the memorabilia. And I did a horrible job of organizing it and keeping things. And pretty much everything I have is lost at this point.
I have nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say zero, not one thing.
Yep.
And guess what? I don't give a rat's ass.
You don't? I kind of do.
Like
I would love to have some old pictures.
I've been on the cover.
I met a lot of people. You have too.
I've been on the cover of the Sun paper.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the front page.
So you don't have a copy of that?
Somewhere.
Oh, dude,
maybe.
it should have been framed.
Why? That's the thing I always wonder.
Because it's cool. Because then you get like what we had dinner over at our friend Sarah Fleischer's house the other weekend.
Yeah.
And she had that whole
her
thing
thing
set up in her basement.
But that's Sarah Fleischer. That's the queen of rock and roll.
I get it.
I'm a dumbass little kid.
Yeah,
from
but it's personal
Harford
to
Road.
you.
Yeah, but I don't like. I find I don't.
You did some cool stuff.
Yeah, and I remember them. You know what I mean?
Well, that's good. I mean, it's good that you don't have to be materialistic about
And
it.
I don't think,
really.
like, for instance, I don't think Sarah is materialistic.
No, I don't think that either.
I think what she did.
I think it's cool that she was able to do that.
Well,
though.
when you think about who she really was and how groundbreaking she was,
and
and
she's
how
in the
long-
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
dude, that lady needs a room like that.
Yeah,
Me,
you're right.
I managed bars and told dick jokes for 40 years.
Yeah,
and
but you
know,
could put a framed sun paper front page picture up on your wall, though. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
and I just feel like when people walk in in your house, they go like this. Oh, look, still living in the
Look,
past.
he loves himself.
Yeah, he loves himself so much. You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah, but I see. I didn't get that from Sarah, though. Did you?
No,
I mean,
because-
that's not what I.
No,
yeah.
like there is a level, I think, of accomplishment where that makes sense. Like if
Yeah.
I walked in Billy Joel's house and there's 60 gold albums on the wall, there's supposed to be. That's Billy Joel's house. You walk into Mickey Cagella's house, you expect to see an eviction notice,
Yeah, but you know,
not a poster of me on the front of the
an
Sun.
eviction notice.
You know what I mean?
But wouldn't it be cool to have all the pictures of all the bands that you met, though? Especially the ones that have died. I mean, I met a lot of rock stars who are no longer with us and took pictures with them, and I don't have any of those pictures.
I just think that
I have pictures with
For
Scott
me-
Weiland. He's gone.
maybe I'm just not comfortable with me. You know what I mean? Like I find it hard.
I don't even mean about presenting, like even put it up on the wall, to just have it and be able to
I
look
just-
back on it all.
Every now and then I'll search my name in Google and I don't
Yeah.
look for things written. I go to the images
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, I remember meeting Slash.
Yeah.
I remember meeting Gavin Rossdale. I remember meeting, whoever. And it's cool. I mean, that part's cool. I get
Yeah.
that. But to walk down my hall every day in my house or sit in my living room and be like, oh yeah, that was 25 years ago when I did that, or I don't know. Like I it's weird for me. And I don't know how to explain it. Like
Yeah.
I always think people that meet me for the first time, you're meeting me today. You're not meeting me 20 years ago. Like you're meeting me today. Like, hi, nice to meet you. Like I have a weird relationship with popularity and whatever that word, celebrity, dumb word to me, but local celebrity, whatever. I sit where everybody sits. I stand in lines. I just none of that shit.
Yeah.
I always thought I was the luckiest. I always felt like a con man.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe they're paying me all this money to do this dumb shit.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you. I mean, I wouldn't put stuff up on the wall to brag. It would be just more to cool memories. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I do. But it never bothers me for other people.
Yeah.
Like if
Right,
I would
no.
walk in your house, for
Yeah.
instance, and you had posters up of Noise in the Basement or a picture of you and Guns N' Roses or Metallica or whatever it is, I'd be like, man, that's cool as shit.
Right. And
I
you look
feel
at our friend
weird.
Stash, for instance,
Dude.
who keeps everything, and he's got, books, photo albums, just full and organized of everybody's met. He keeps all of his memorabilia and ticket stubs and everything, man. Old interviews that he's done, audio, and he's got it all, man. I wish I would have done that.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to you, Matt, I'm being authentic here.
Yeah.
I'm not a good remember when guy. I'm not ashamed of anything. I'm very proud of what I've accomplished,
Yeah.
without a doubt. But I just feel like there's a level you get to where you go, all right, man, are you doing this for the love of doing it, which is why I do it? I just love doing this.
Yeah.
Or are you doing it to pat yourself on the back? And maybe there is a common ground between the two. I just haven't found it yet.
I hear you.
I'll tell you what, if this
Yeah.
show does what I think it's going to do, there'll be a whole bunch of shit hanging on my wall.
All right, we got to start taking those pictures.
You know what those things are going to be?
What's that, man?
Deposit slips. That's what's
Yes,
going on.
sir.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Hey, how about the fact we have a bank account now, Matt?
I think that makes us official, man.
A corporate
Wait,
bank
it's
account.
almost like we're married, dude. We
It's getting
share a bank
ridiculous.
account.
It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you won't give me the password, you son of a bitch.
We're gonna need that lie detector soon, man.
I'll sign up for that one every day.
So, despite what you've heard today, Mick, a bunch of sites are reporting that today is the shortest day in history, but it's not. This is welcome news if you're having a bad day, I guess. A bunch of websites are reporting that today could be the shortest day in history. The rotation of the Earth speeds up and slows down depending on a few things, and the biggest factor is how far away the moon is. The good news, if let's see here, it is today will be 1.3 milliseconds shorter than normal. That's just over one
That's why I
1,000th
was
of a
late.
second.
That's why I was late.
Right.
Son of a gun.
It's funny because they say technically this isn't the shortest day was back last year around this time, but it's not really because they didn't start paying attention until like the 70s.
Uh-huh.
And they think that back in the day, like billions of years ago, we had like a 19-hour day because the moon was so close.
Like the sun stayed up, or just like the Earth spun so fast? I'm confused.
Like it's about how far away the moon is from us. It was closer to us, which I guess affected the rotation of the Earth, and it made the days 19 hours instead of 24.
Wow.
So a lot more darkness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, my Uncle Lou was in the Sun paper, right?
Yeah.
He built, I think it was when Memorial Stadium closed, the last game.
Yep.
And he's on the front of the Sun. You can't see it, but it's a terrible position.
Hold it up to the camera.
The sign says, "Will the last one to leave please turn out the lights?" And he holds that up, and it was on, I think, the front page of the Sun.
Oh, wow.
So let me hold
Really?
it up to the camera. Yeah, I got to move.
Let's see this.
Can you see it?
It hasn't focused yet, so pull it back a little bit. It's a little blurry, but I can see it. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's a really cool, moment. And I mean, I think he has the paper because that looks like a photo of the actual paper taken with his phone.
Yep.
And I don't know when Memorial Stadium closed. Yeah, but like, there's a lot of things, man. I was given them, I've won tons of comedy contests. I don't have one thing. Anything my kids give me, I have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hang on to a lot of stuff. Tell me this: do you hang on to your kids' teeth?
No, I didn't. In fact, the day they were, I hated their teeth.
A lot of people do.
I hated their teeth.
We did, but then we also had a conversation about how weird it is that we're hanging on the teeth.
What do you need them for?
I don't know. What are you going to do with them?
Right.
One day?
Make a necklace for your daughter on her wedding day.
Right.
Here,
like, do you want your baby teeth?
No. I know somebody very well that saves everything.
Yeah.
Like, just it drives that human being out of their mind how much they save.
Yeah.
To the point where you just have boxes and boxes and boxes.
Well, listen, I am a self-professed pack rat.
Oh, what is wrong with you?
I know. And my wife is not. She is the complete opposite.
I am worse than your wife.
It drives her crazy.
And me too.
Yeah. And, but you know what? She's made me a lot better about it over the years too.
Yeah.
I'm able to just let go of stuff. Whereas before I wouldn't.
My sister just texted me.
Yeah.
She still has both of her daughter's teeth.
Wow.
My sister is now out of the will. She ain't getting that $1.50 I had set aside for her and my brother when I go.
You're not going to give her your baby teeth in the will?
No.
Leave her your teeth.
I'm not. In fact, my sister, this is horrible.
Yeah.
My sister was kind enough years ago to get that Sun paper thing, ordered it, and framed it for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
And in a move, because I'm an asshole, it got misplaced.
Mick.
I know, man. Well, first of all, I went through the last 12 years of my life were just sheer hell. I mean, I lived in 17 houses. Do you know that?
Are you exaggerating, or you
No.
really lived in 17 houses?
17.
Who? In what period of time?
I think it's like 13 or 14 years.
Wow.
And it was Matt.
I mean, I hate moving. I can't even, first of all, picture moving. I mean, when my wife and I moved into this house, we're like, we are never, ever moving
and
again.
this is the point I'm making, is that I got so depressed over so long. I left places. I was gone mentally. I just left.
Yeah.
And told trash companies, throw everything away.
Wow.
I didn't give a shit. People don't get how far gone depression can get you.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready to talk about it today, but I lost one thing that I can't believe my depression allowed me to
Oh, that
lose.
sucks, dude.
And I'll never forgive myself for it. I've learned to live with it.
Yeah.
And I've learned to accept that my intentions were not to get rid of that, and I didn't do anything purposefully to get rid of it. Just irresponsibility, depression, anxiety, all those things just took precedent in my mind over what should have been. And and I look back, and maybe that's part of the reason why I don't feel like I like holding on to things, because I don't like the idea of worrying that this keepsake is alive.
Yeah.
That.
No, I hear you, man. Having all that stuff is a strain on you mentally.
Yeah.
Like clutter. Clutter is
Oh
a
my
massive
God.
strain.
Matt, I'm not kidding you. I mean, I know I'm probably never going to be serious with a woman again, like marriage. I don't think I'll ever get married again. Would I love to live with a woman and do things and, have sex every now and then and, share work together, clean the house, like stuff like that? Absolutely. But what I don't think I have anymore, and maybe I'm wrong, is that thing in you where you go, we need to have a home and we need a living room. And if I could meet a girl that says, you know what, a studio apartment sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
A 1-bedroom apartment sounds pretty, like all the hassle.
I'm kind of where you are. I could live in a shoebox.
Yeah,
I don't even
me
care.
too, man.
The only reason I'm living in a house probably is for my family.
Right, of course.
If it was just me, I wouldn't even care.
Say 10 years from now, your daughter's grown. She's a college, whatever, living on her own. She's self-sustained.
Yeah.
Could you and Liz have the conversation where you say, hey, why don't we get a real small apartment, get rid of all this shit? Or does she love having a home?
I think she loves the house, but
is that because
she
the
might be
daughter's
open
there?
to it.
Is she
Not really. I think she really loves our house.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I do too. Don't get me wrong. I love our house, but I just know that, like you, it doesn't. I look at these people that buy these gigantic houses.
Dude, I did it.
And they got these rooms that they never even use in the house, but they're heating them and they're cool. It's ridiculous. And I don't need a bunch of land either. I mean, I don't.
Dude,
I don't need all that.
I'm telling you, I grew up in the city.
I could live in a tiny house.
So
and be
could
happy.
I. So could I.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just need 3 things to happen.
It's like a bed and a bathroom.
I need somewhere
refrigerator.
The basics in a house.
Yeah.
Electric, refrigeration, shower, somewhere to sleep, somewhere to sit.
Yeah.
Right? If I have those things, I'm the happiest guy in the world.
Sure.
When I had the big house and all the toys and all that shit, my kids lived a Fantasyland life. I loved watching them have everything they wanted. I loved being able to give it to them.
Yeah,
but I didn't need any of it.
Yeah.
I needed nothing.
Yeah.
I don't even ask for things. People go, what can I get you for your birthday or Christmas? I go, I'd love to see you. Like, I swear to God, like,
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, what do you need? I could use some jeans and some t-shirts. Like, those are practical things to me.
My wife and I have kind of come to that agreement recently. We're like, you know what? Like, why are we buying each other Christmas and birthday? We're taking it out of the same bank account.
I said on
mean,
stage one time, and I got a round of applause, and I meant it to be sarcastic. But when I realized I'm quarter of the way through it, I'm like, I'm right. I said, you know what would mean more to women that on Valentine's Day than flowers and chocolates and a piece of jewelry? Take her somewhere, like a waterfall.
Yeah, an experience.
A beautiful setting somewhere. And then just look at her and talk about her for 5 minutes straight about why she means everything she means to you. And at the end of that, if the feeling she has isn't 10 times greater than any jewelry or chocolate or flower or hotel room, you got to divorce that woman, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So few people take the time to just look each other in the eye, turn off all the noise around you and go, hey, you know what? Every day we wake up, we go to work, we raise our children, we save money, we do the dishes, we take out the trash. You know what I haven't done in 5 years? I haven't reminded you how you make me feel when I lay next to you. It's the most comfortable thing I've ever felt.
Yeah, and you just made me think, man, to your point, we're like, let's stop buying each other these gigantic presents.
Yeah.
But we will go out, we'll spend money on a really nice dinner.
Absolutely.
And hang out. And talk and eat good food.
Whenever I hear people say, oh, you got to stop eating out and you can't afford it. And it's like, but if I went, here's the thing. A lot of my meals, I eat out, right? I don't grocery shopping. I'm going to waste everything I buy.
Yeah.
Right. I'm home at 2 times during a 24-hour period. When I wake up and when I go to bed, I'm not even home. I'm just working all day, all night. Right. So I come home. What am I going to do? Cook dinner? No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So I spend, say, $25, $40 a day in food. The average guy or lady gets off work. They go to the bar. They spend $25, $30, have a couple drinks after work, happy hour. Nobody says a goddamn thing to them.
Yep.
No one says, oh, you're wasting all your money. 2 drinks a night, 3 drinks a night, plus tip. That's $25, $30 right there.
Yeah.
Right? It's totally cool. Everybody thinks you're hip. You're out. You're socializing. But if I stop at goddamn Chick-fil-A and spend $14, I'm an irresponsible asshole.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me?
Like grocery store prices or that.
Yeah,
much, you know.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. I love doing things like that. You know what awesome thing to do on a Valentine's Day, Matt?
Yeah.
You know what? Call up. It doesn't need to be $1,000 a night. Call a hotel for no reason. It could be a hotel 6 blocks from your house. Go to dinner, go back to the hotel, have crazy sex, get up in the morning and leave and go have a great day. Like, just do things that, like you say, are just cool dates.
Yeah, like an experience.
An experience,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. And I don't know. I just think it's so much easier to connect with people if you just talk to them
Agreed.
and say things that are hard to say.
Yeah.
Like, I love you so much. You're the most beautiful. You know, sometimes, like, if you ever loved a girl, I bet, okay, this isn't fair to ask about your wife because she's beautiful. But in your lifetime, Matt, has there ever been a woman who, like other men say, may have looked at and went, really? But in your heart and mind, you were like, that's the most beautiful person I've ever seen. Have you ever been in that experience?
Not really. No.
Okay. Like, I mean, every woman I have loved, in my eyes, while I was with them, they were the most beautiful,
Sure.
hottest woman. But logically, I know they wouldn't win the poll if it was taken amongst all men. But that poll, to me, she was number one. And I think and vice versa, women, there are men that may not be the most handsome, but because you know them and the way they make you feel, they're the hottest thing walking.
Of course.
And I think we have to learn that part of it all.
Yep.
To be able, if people could learn to express that side of a relationship, like why I think you're the hottest chick, you know, you're a little overweight or you're a little this, and you're thinking to yourself, how could you think I'm the hottest girl you know? Well, here's how. When you roll over towards me at night, I've never felt that with anyone else. That's the hottest thing I've ever felt. When I see you get dressed, for some reason, I'm enthralled by you, you know. And I think when people stop saying shit like that, and we have, that's when divorces go up. That we've materialized even marriage, and it sucks and it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rumble, for listening.
Listen, I agree with you on all your points.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about experiences and connection, and it's not about the $100 bouquet of flowers that's going to die in 3 days.
You know what else I don't understand, Matt?
Yeah.
I mean, this is cool that we're talking. Do you mind talking about this?
No.
Okay. In relationships, it takes me 2 weeks to realize I'm totally in love with somebody. And it might be shorter. And it's because I think when you love someone, all your thoughts and every decision and every sort of thing you're thinking about, they're in your conscience. And you date somebody for a little bit, say 2-3 weeks, and you're thinking about them all the time. That is love. That is what that connection is. So people go, oh, we've been dating for 4 months. We're not sure how it's going to go. Get out. If you don't, yes. If you don't know in 4 months, this person that I'm spending all this
4
time,
months. Yeah, I guess. I mean,
but I'll say it a different way. If you're with someone 25 times,
people, because depending on how often you see each other.
Well, I'm saying times.
Yeah.
Say you spend 25 things together. You've done 25
Yeah.
things together. At the end of that 25, every man and every woman knows, yep, this person I could dig. You know it. And then we just do all this bullshit we're waiting a year before we move in because that's what seems appropriate. Let me tell you something. I could meet a girl and within 2 weeks, I'd be like, yeah, I'll move in. For real. Like, if it's real, it's
there's
real.
something to be said for, I mean, you can date somebody, but then to live with them is a lot different. And you should probably, I would probably feel comfortable giving my kids that advice at some point when they were very serious about somebody, that they should probably live with them for a period before they make the big jump into marriage to see if they can really.
No. I think we're
that.
talking about two different things.
You think?
Okay. Yeah. I apologize. Obviously, those other things you have to be able to see this person lives in a nice house.
Yeah.
They keep care of their shit. They're responsible. I could live with this person. There's also people I look at and I go, this bitch was cleaning my fork before I was done eating. Like, I can't. I'd say bitch, like, I don't mean women. That's a word to me that means crazy person, right?
Okay, yeah.
I'll say it for a guy too, like this
gotcha.
bitch, right? So that's not a woman thing. But I will say there are people that are so anal and so crazy like that. I'm just like, no, you know what? I'm gonna leave the Ben and Jerry's out some nights till the next morning. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna leave that container there. I'm gonna eat something.
Just see what happens, like a little trap.
Just like I'm tired. I didn't think it was sitting over here now. And I went to bed. And the next morning I come down the steps, I see it, I go, dumbass, I throw it away. The people that like their house is spotless 24/7. I like a home to feel like a home. I don't mind seeing a jacket on the couch. You know what I mean? I don't mind a chair pulled out from the table.
Well, I don't obviously either, because I'm usually the messy one around the house.
Is your wife like a super clean freak?
She's actually not. She's very reasonable,
right,
about keeping the house clean.
Right.
Exactly. Not overly crazy about it.
Bingo.
But doesn't want to put up with my clutter and.
Yeah, I get that. And now that I know you're a pack rat, I'm Team Liz all the way.
Yeah.
On whatever.
Of course. Listen, I agree with you on her, and but it's different for me at work. Like, I got to have everything. Well,
dude,
for the most part,
I watch you, and I'm like, we are Felix and Oscar, dude. We are the odd couple.
Yeah.
I can't work without 79 things around me that don't make any sense.
Right.
And when I have that, I thrive.
Yeah.
It's like chaos, like.
But you're the opposite in your personal life. Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm a complete idiot 24/7. Like, I am a handful. There's no doubt about it.
I got you. Yeah.
But I will say this, like, if I live there, if I live with you and you make the effort to be tidy and that, I'm with you.
Yeah.
But if you leave shit laying around, I ain't gonna fight you.
Right.
Just saying.
I think I'm the same way as you.
Yeah. I think you're more. You're probably more of
except at work. Anytime I'm at work, that's when I'm kind of more organized and clean and
yeah.
It's
I get
weird.
it. Yeah. But at home you leave shit out. You don't get.
Yeah.
You know why? Because that's your safe space. That's the space where you go and you go, okay, ain't nobody here going to mess with me.
Well, that too, and I think that things are more important than that in my life. Like I feel like my time's limited, and I'm going to take care of other things first, and that's probably it's just lower on the priority list than
I get it
should be,
right?
Maybe
because it only concerns you, Liz, and your daughter.
Yeah, right.
Where there's livelihoods at stake. There's people counting on you.
Yeah, I got to be organized. I got to know where everything is and what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't think people realize. I mean, you're the only one that does that. I really just I don't do any show prep. Right? You do all the show prep, but I think that's our magic.
Yep.
You do that part, and then I just comment on everything.
Yeah.
But all fair, I do a lot of things for the show.
For sure.
Right? And I think that is a wonderful way to complement each other.
Yep.
Because I love knowing, all right, at 5:00, I just have to be me. I don't have to do anything. Matt handled everything to do with the show as far as execution of the live show. And I'm going to kill myself working to make sure we can keep doing it every day.
Yeah.
And we do understand that about each other.
Of course. Yeah. It works well.
Yeah. Somebody said to me.
There's a lot of yin and yang in our relation. Not just that, almost overall, there's a total yin and yang between you and I.
Oh, yes. I mean, I think that we both appreciate the other.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I pick up where you're not strong and you pick up where I'm not strong.
Yep.
And then together it's lethal.
Yeah.
Right. But as long as we don't ever allow the personal frustrations of what we have to do for our part to make me resent you, because maybe that day you didn't have to do as much and I'm up since 6:30.
I don't ever think like that.
I don't
you?
need. No, I
I've
don't.
I've never once thought like that.
Well, that's because I do a lot more than you. No, I'm kidding. But man, I just it's funny, man. Relationships lately, I feel like I am and it's all since I've gotten the help I got. It just really comes down to, I think, 3 simple things in a relationship. Do you like the person as a person?
Yeah.
Like, if you weren't with them, would you hang out with them if you were the last 2 at a party and have a conversation? Number 1. Number 2, are you sexually attracted to them? That is a huge thing that people, they go, oh, sex doesn't matter in a relationship, love and trust. Bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be an attraction.
There has
right?
to be
Yeah.
sexual chemistry.
Yeah.
And number 3, and I think this is the most important thing, are there things about you that bother them that you are willing to address? The answer is yes. I'm willing to address things that bother
I mean, you're not
you.
going to find a person that doesn't have some kind of quality that you're going to have a difficult time with at some point, right?
Yeah.
Is
but
there a human being that exists that would never get on your nerves about something?
get on my nerves? Yeah, there are plenty that would not get on my nerves. Like, when things get on my nerves is when I've made myself clear and you're still arguing. And I'm like, I hear you. I disagree. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then I'm told, well, if you don't, you're this, or if you don't do this, I'm doing this. And then it's like, well, then this isn't a relationship. We're not compromising. We're
Yeah.
dictating. And I'm just sick of dictators in any kind of relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you. I see where you're
It's
coming
really
from.
helped me selling this show.
Yeah.
In the old days, I used to be like, this thing's going to be huge. You're an idiot if you don't get on board, blah, 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 blah. Now I just simply say, listen, here's what we've done. Here's what has occurred. Here's what I believe will occur for you. Would you give me a chance? Instead of saying, if you don't give me a chance, it's on you, you're dumb, And I just find that a little humility and a little recognition of your own weaknesses go an incredibly long way.
Yeah.
And I'm learning it. At 56, I'm learning this. So when it comes to relationships, I'm just kind of like, listen, I've been in them for 40 years, been in relationships. I know how they work. I know how they don't. I'm willing to do the work to make it work. I'm not willing to be in it anymore if you don't want to do the work. And that's been the same my whole life.
Yeah.
And there's been times where I wasn't willing to do the work and somebody stepped out on me.
Yeah.
That's on me. I told them, no, I ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
And that's
Keep on
on me.
growing or,
Yeah.
or you're just dead.
That's
right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this last question, though, Matt.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you find in your day-to-day life that do you ever feel like when you're adamant, right? Like, no, this is the way it's got to be. And someone says to you, well, no, we're not doing it that way, or don't talk to me that way, or whatever their words are. Are you immediately just like turned off to that person that's not even willing to compromise?
If I'm adamant about doing it my way,
It's not fair to say what I mean is, I'll use a dumb example. We're going here to eat tonight. No, we're not. I don't like that place. Yes, we are. I'd rather not go there. I don't like any of the food there. We're going. At that point, the other person who says, I just don't like the place,
yeah.
is in the right.
Of course.
in a
Right. Yeah,
relationship.
you should budge there and find something you both like.
compromise.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course. Yeah.
There are people that I've been with that go, no, this is what I want. Well, then fuck off. Go do what you want.
Yeah. I don't think I'd have a good time
Right. That's
forcing
my point.
somebody to do that.
Right.
Yeah,
But
right.
there are people out there that don't care that you're not having a good time.
Right.
Because they're doing what they want.
Sure.
Fuck those people. I'm sorry.
You want to talk about dinosaurs?
Yes, please. Because I'm one.
So, scientists in Arizona's Petrified Forest National Park have unearthed fossils of the oldest known flying reptile ever found in North America. It's a pterosaur that is about 209 million years old.
Holy crap.
This is obviously an artist's depiction of the thing here.
Let me look at that.
Go ahead and check it out. It's tucked away in a remote bone bed in Arizona's Petrified Forest National Park. Laid hundreds of fossils, including a fragile jawbone belonging to one of the oldest known flying reptiles, the pterosaur. This represents the oldest flying vertebrae found in North America and fills a gap in the fossil record proving that pterosaurs coexisted with frogs, turtles, and older groups of animals like giant amphibians. They say this thing is about the size of a seagull. But it
Really?
sure don't look like a seagull.
That's the biggest damn seagull I've ever seen.
Well, it's got a much bigger wingspan. The pterosaur's wingspan was about 3 feet, and its skull was about 4 inches long. It had curved fangs at the front of its mouth for grabbing fish as it flew over rivers, and blade-like teeth in the back of the jaw for slicing prey, as according to Reuters.
Jesus, that thing, I can see it now up close because I finally caught up, but
Yeah.
oh my
Terrifying,
God.
man. Imagine those things flying around in the air around you.
Jungle Rumble said on Rumble said looks like one of my chickens. If you look at it, it does look like a creepy, scary
What are you
chicken.
feeding them chickens?
Yeah, what the hell are they doing?
Well, it is crazy. I mean, you look at the birds, they're descendants of the dinosaurs, man.
Well, I mean, the great Jurassic Park, one of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest documentaries ever made with real footage of dinosaurs, by the way.
Right.
There's a great point in there. And the doctor, the main guy, says basically, I knew it. I knew that they're
related to birds.
that they were in the bird. They became from birds.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, it does make a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
And there are birds on this earth now that never have been able to fly, right?
Sure.
So flight doesn't make the bird. It's
Right.
interesting, though.
But you never thought about like dinosaurs with feathers, but they think a lot of them did.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And I also think that birds will be the last thing on earth.
Yeah. You think
Yeah.
so?
Oh, yeah. Because they can escape anything.
I'm sure it'll be like bacteria and
Well, I'm talking about animals.
yeah.
I think
Cockroaches.
I think the birds will outlast them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the food source will dry up for the cockroaches eventually. And birds, birds will just eat. I mean, they're scavengers. They'll eat dead carcasses. They don't give a rat's ass what they eat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think birds are the last thing left. So, don't count your chickens.
So the Army is now using robotic coyotes to defend their fighter jets from birds, Mick. The Army Corps of Engineers Engineer Research and Development Center is working on prototypes of unmanned ground vehicles, or UGVs, that can be deployed across airfields to scare off birds and other problematic wildlife that could do millions of dollars worth of damage or even threaten aircrew lives by flying into the engine. So to get a look at these things,
Wow.
a photo released by the center demonstrates one vision for the technology: 3 four-wheeled UGVs mounted with life-size plastic coyote figures. They also say that the coyote rovers are not just expensive scarecrows. Rather, the design team said they could represent a new way of deploying unmanned and autonomous technology that could benefit civil infrastructure authorities as well as the military. So they basically have the same functionality as like a drone, any other drone.
Wow.
Look at these things, though.
Let me see. God dang. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What would you do if you're just sitting there and that thing flies like 10 feet in front of you and just stops and looks?
Dude, I think the ones like on the White House lawn are even scarier looking because they've got the legs. They're not on wheels. They've got
Dude,
legs that
I
move
know.
like
I know.
robotic dogs.
It's crazy.
And they're probably armed with machine guns.
Of course
and,
they are.
You know,
Yeah, of course.
probably bite you and electrocute you, or who knows?
You ever seen the White House roof? What's up there?
I don't know. What's up there?
Dude, missiles. Like,
Is that right? It doesn't
the
shock me. But
missiles that are like that long. You know, the
Yeah.
ones that, like, you see 4 of them stuck in a thing.
I don't think it used to be that way.
It's
Was
been
it
that way
9/11 that changed
yeah, I
it?
think 9/11 is
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
the White House got strapped.
Or there was that weird flying. I forget what
The
it was.
Cessna plane that crashed in the yard.
Well, there was a Cessna, but then there was some other weird vehicle that crashed. Do you remember that?
God, I
I-
feel like I do,
It
but
was
I'm
like some
drunk.
kind of homemade weird,
Oh, wasn't it that guy that built the remote controlled truck or something?
Oh, I forgot about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, there was
No,
like-
that wasn't what I was thinking of.
Okay, I'm
It
not
was-
sure what you're
Somebody
thinking
else
of.
flew some other kind of weird vehicle onto the lawn of the
Really?
White House. Yeah. So could have been any number of those things that, I'm shocked they didn't have missiles up there before.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it makes no sense, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
So There was a bizarre and violent scene that unfolded at a GameStop store in California over the weekend when a pair of grown men got into a fight over Pokemon cards.
Really?
Yeah. Police say the fight reportedly started when one man tried to cut in line to buy Pokemon cards. Things escalated quickly when he allegedly struck another man in the back of the head with a glass mason jar. A second suspect then used the broken glass to stab the victim several times. The victim was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, but is now in stable condition. They're both facing multiple charges, including assault with a deadly weapon and conspiracy to commit a crime. One guy's 27, the other one is 49.
Wow.
Pokemon cards.
Yeah, dude.
What you know about Pikachu?
Yeah. Remember when the Pokemon thing came back and it was on everybody's phone and you could just walk around the universe and collect things?
Yeah, people were like almost getting hit by cars.
Remember that?
Yeah.
My kids were of that age.
Yeah.
And they would go, Dad, can I have your phone? And I go, what are you doing? I'm going to buy, getting Pokemon stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And they said, yeah, they're out back. I'm like, go inside. Like, no, what are you doing? No, you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I made my kids play in the dirt. Like, I was old school dad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You don't need to sit here for 20 hours.
It's like back in the 80s, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I let them be lazy video game kids too. But I will say my kids did spend time outside. And I'm glad of that.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I could spend more time outside.
For sure. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Wouldn't you love to sit in your yard and dig a hole?
No, I wouldn't like to dig a hole, but I'd like to go sit in my yard, though.
I'd like to just go dig a hole for no reason.
My wife would love that. She's all into gardening now, so she's constantly digging holes.
You know what?
That's her happy place.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then I applaud it.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is that makes you happy.
Yep.
I like just putting a stick in the dirt and moving it around.
I'd like to go out into the woods.
I love being in the woods.
Yeah.
I don't like hiking hills, but I just like walking around the woods.
Yeah.
I love walking through the woods.
I grew up like that.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
Yeah. We had, believe it or not, in the city, Ingram Park, we had woods behind us.
Yep.
And we were in them all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. I mean, we'd play Army in there. Like, you know, we'd all wear the same color
Remember
shirt.
that back in the day when you could get toy guns? You can't even find toy guns anymore.
You had to make the noise. Bang, bang, bang. You know, like, no, you can't get anything like that.
I mean, I had like, I remember like one of my favorite ones was this thing that looked like an actual M16.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
And like the pistols look like real guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of see why they don't do that anymore, but
cop pulls up. Hi, officer. Bang.
You can't buy any of that stuff
right,
anymore.
Right. Yeah. Probably smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a guy who was kind of a good Samaritan. He stopped to help an injured bear, and it immediately mauled him.
Really?
59-year-old man from California. Yeah. So he saw an injured bear on the side of the road. He decided to help it out, and it just mauled him. Happened late last month in Humboldt County near the Oregon border. They didn't release the guy's name, but he's 59. And one report said he saw the bear get hit, but later the report said he hit the bear with his car, felt guilty about it, and got out to render aid. He tried to give it a boost up over the concrete barrier on the side of the road.
Yeah.
It wasn't a curb, by the way. It was a cub, rather. It was a full-grown 400-pound black bear. The bear didn't know he was just trying to help because it's a wild animal, and chomped down on his left forearm multiple times.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, an off-duty EMT applied a tourniquet to his arm and called 911. The guy was treated at a nearby hospital, but they didn't release details on his condition. The bear didn't make it, though.
Good.
No,
I feel bad for the bear, actually.
of course.
Yeah. But, you know, you got to save the human life first, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Do you believe that?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, and if you're going to help a bear, you better have somebody there that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Or it's going to shoot it with a trank dart or something. You know what I mean? To give it aid.
I was at an event one time, right?
Yeah.
And they had an emu.
Yeah.
And it got a little wild, right?
Yeah.
And it got caught up in something, like literally like a net or something.
Yeah.
And these people are just like, I'm like, that thing will kill you
Yeah.
If like none of you know what you're doing, but
It's going to peck your eyeball out.
right, we got to save the animal. I'm like, that animal doesn't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It thinks you're attacking it.
Right.
It doesn't
But you
understand.
trapped it and you want to eat
and
it.
you want to eat it. He'll do
Yeah.
anything to survive.
Yeah.
And I just go, okay, good luck. I'm not helping.
Yeah.
Give me the knife, because if that thing cuts loose, I'm throwing it right in its face. I'm gonna cut its neck
That'd be a
right
viral
off,
video, man. You fighting an emu with a knife.
dude. Well, they got that long ass neck, right?
Yeah.
That just chop his
Oh,
head right
God,
off.
Mick. That's graphic.
To save a human life,
Of course.
I would
yeah.
cut any animal's head right off.
Of course.
Not even feel bad.
Of course.
Especially a cat. I got in an argument with a cat about cats the other day.
You are a monster, Mick.
I'm horrible. I'm a horrible human being.
How can you not like cats?
How do you like them?
How do you just not like them, though?
Because what do they do for you?
What do dogs do for you? The same thing.
Anything you train it.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
It will walk by your side.
What are you going to train it to do?
I'll tell you what a dog will do.
Okay.
A dog will bite a person trying to hurt you. A
Okay.
cat will go, why are you guys fighting?
I don't
get
know,
it.
but I don't want an animal for personal protection. That's not why I buy an animal.
You asked me what a dog will do for you. That's what a dog. You know what else a dog will
I'm
do?
just saying,
It'll lay by your
what
side for 3
qualities
days.
does a dog have that a cat
Loyalty.
doesn't have?
Loyalty.
You've never owned a cat then.
I've been around cats my whole life.
And you've never had a loyal cat? It's probably because you're a jackass.
No,
around cats.
I'm telling you right now, you could take 100 cats and
Yeah.
100 dogs, and you tell the cats, all right, here's your owner, and all the owners are on one side of the room, and you put the food on the other. A lot of dogs will go to the food despite the owners. Every goddamn cat will go to the food, and no owner will be able to call it away. Some people will be able to get their dog to come to them before the food. The cat, middle paw, goodbye, I'm eating.
Look,
They don't care about you.
I would
They're
go on the record
horrible.
to say that I love dogs as well,
Yeah.
but I just can't see why you wouldn't like a cat.
I
either.
like a cat. I don't get me wrong. If I come to your house and you have a cat and I'm sitting on your couch and it crawls up next to me, I'm not going to shoo it off. I'll pet it. I'll be nice, right?
It's not going to like you, Mick.
Well, whatever.
It can sense. that
Cats love
you-
me.
It can
That's my
sense that
other
you're not a
problem.
cat person.
No, that's the problem. Their
Yeah.
cats are like strippers.
They like you too much.
They're like strippers. You act like you don't like them, they cling to you. It's incredible. That's what cats are to me. They're like
I don't
animal
think
strippers.
that's. I don't think that's 100% true, but
What's not?
that if you ignore them, they want to be around you more.
No, I'm saying.
They're aloof creatures, of course.
No, I'm
especially
saying in
compared to a
my
dog.
case, I
Right.
don't even want to be around them. And every time
I
I'm
see.
in a group of people and there's a cat,
Yeah, it's rubbing up against you.
it comes to me.
Yeah,
Maybe because I'm the smallest one. I don't know.
that's a good sign, though, man. They say when animals like people, it's a sign of a good person.
Is that right?
So that's what I've heard, anyway.
You know, I was only chased by a dog one time.
Yeah.
And do you know that I stared a dog down? I did some like Crocodile Dundee shit to him,
Wow.
and it worked. I panicked and screamed at the dog and pointed,
Mm.
and it stopped dead.
I remember the first time that I developed a healthy fear of dogs. I was probably 5 years old,
Right.
and this dog came up, and it was, a pretty big dog. I didn't see it that way until it jumped up on me, put its paws on my chest,
Knocked you
and
down.
knocked me down and pinned me down.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's core
Yeah.
memory.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I totally remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first time a girl did that to me. Knocked me over, got on top, pinned me down. And I said, she must think I'm a good person.
Well, Mick, somebody stole a Ronald McDonald statue from a McDonald's in Eastern Pennsylvania,
Chump change.
and police called it a McFelony. Listen to this police report, man. So on Monday, Pennsylvania police posted on their Facebook page that Ronald McDonald is missing, and it was not a joke. Surveillance footage showed a number of unidentified suspects walk out of the McDonald's holding the Ronald McDonald statue. And this is the quote from their Facebook page. They said, quote, "We're not clowning around. This was a full-blown McNapping. Ronald was last seen smiling as usual, unaware of the betrayal. Witnesses say he didn't even put up a fight." The post then addresses the subject, saying, "We get it. Times are tough and therapy is expensive. But kidnapping a plastic icon of joy, that's a McFelony." And police are now asking anyone who knows Ronald's whereabouts to call them.
So I don't know if you remember this. I think the year was around 94, 5, maybe 6. An inflatable Ronald McDonald
Yeah.
was stolen and erected in the backyard of a friend of mine's house.
Is that right? Somebody we know?
You know those giant blow up McDonald's things that are like 20 feet tall and
Like the bounce houses type things, you
yes.
mean? Yeah, yeah.
But it wasn't a bounce house. It was like that.
Okay.
But, okay. With the blower and everything.
Yeah.
It was stolen.
It was Ronald McDonald
Yes, it was stolen.
from a McDonald's.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the blower, everything brought to a friend of mine's house in the middle of the night, was set
Without
up,
them without them knowing about it?
was set up and inflated.
Oh my God.
And they woke up to a massive run in a townhouse backyard.
That is That's
It took
hilarious.
the whole yard. It was the funniest thing. And I know all parties, by the way.
That is hysterical. Oh, you know the people who did it
I'm
and
not
the
saying
victims.
that.
Huh?
I'm not saying that. I just
Well,
said I know all parties.
Once
Yeah.
the statute of limitations is passed, we'll tell the story.
It's very funny, and you can look it up. Like it was clearly a real thing.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
man.
it's hilarious.
One more story here, Mick. There was a guy who, we got to talk about Florida man once in a while, right?
Mhm.
Guy celebrated his birthday by smoking meth, stealing a trolley, and picking up tourists.
Yeah, but what did he do wrong?
Have you ever gone all out on your birthday, Mick? Maybe your 21st. This guy chose his 57th and really did it up. He's a man from Key West, Florida, named Jonathan Winslow. He's facing charges after he celebrated his birthday last Friday by doing meth, stealing a trolley, and driving around town picking up tourists.
Absolutely love this guy.
What do you think? What do you think he looks like, Mick? If you had to guess,
All right, let me try. He smokes crystal meth, right? And I'm looking at the
he steals
cameras
trolleys.
so people don't. Are you going to show the picture?
I'm going to.
Don't
yeah.
do it yet because I'm
Right.
not looking.
Yeah.
I will say he's a white guy, skinny, brown straight hair, probably some facial hair, but not like it's not all together. And he's completely and 100% looks dazed.
You're close, Mick. Here
Okay.
he is, the birthday boy.
Oh my God! I mean, I had him a little younger. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come look for a second. Put the camera on you for a second.
The birthday boy. There's a famous trolley in Key West called the Conch Tour Train. It looks like an old-timey train that does 60-minute tours. It's been operating since 1958. Jonathan showed up at the station at 11:30 a.m. last Friday, which was also the 4th of July, by the way. He left his Kia out back with the engine running and rock music blasting on the radio.
Absolutely incredible.
He told an employee that he used to work there and asked if he could take a look at one of the trains. It's not clear if he actually ever worked there or not. He then hopped in one of the trolleys and took off, leaving the employee confused. They thought maybe he had permission to take it, but he didn't, of course. Cops eventually found him on the other side of town at the famous southernmost point buoy. He'd driven at least a mile and picked up several passengers. When they told him he was being arrested, he said it was his birthday and claimed that he just borrowed the trolley. They said he was speaking fast like he was on something.
Hey, listen, man, I had to get that trolley, and then I saw people needed a ride, and I thought, I'm going to be a good Samaritan today. It's my birthday. I want to do good. So I'm going to pick these people up. I'm sorry the tour ended early, everybody, and I missed a couple of sites along the way. But I got to go right now. Listen, don't worry about anything. These police are going to take good care of me. Thanks for riding on Crackhead Alley. We'd see you guys next week. That's how I would do it.
Yeah, they searched him. They found his pipe and everything.
Yeah.
It was a meth pipe, facing charges for burglary, grand theft auto, and possession of drug paraphernalia.
It's just, what, did you say Florida?
Of course.
You know, there's 23 million people, I think, that live in Florida.
Yeah.
And do you really think it's bad that we blame Florida, that has 23 million people, for the behavior of 21 million people? Do you know what I mean? It is like that state to me. I don't know what's going on in Florida.
Well, everybody ends up there.
Is that what
most
it
of those
is?
people are not from there. They've
Right.
got records. They're like, man, screw, I'm going to Florida.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be homeless and
Dude.
broke, I'm gonna be in the nice weather.
Dude, it's nice weather down there. I'm going
Hell yeah.
to wrestle some alligators.
I mean, they got Disneyland. Any state got Disneyland. I'm going to. Now,
Dude,
granted,
I'm going to ride a trolley. I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
I'm not only gonna ride it. I'm gonna drive that son of a bitch, and I'm gonna pick up passengers along the way. And I tell you what else
I'm gonna do on my birthday,
All right,
man.
and then listen, it's my birthday. It's free. Trolley's free today, everybody. Get on. I gotta make 4 stops, so I hope you got time. You imagine if that guy stopped along the way and just bought more drugs, like turned around to everybody. Hey, I'll be right back. I gotta run to my friend's house real quick.
Imagine finding out your trolley driver's on meth. The guy that's been driving you around all day.
You're sitting there with your wife, and you go about 6 blocks, and you're like, is he driving a little fast? And then he stops and pulls over, gets up, does a big speech. You just look at your wife and you go, I'll tell you what, this wasn't on the tourist list, was it? This was not in the brochure. I am so glad we did this. It's hilarious, man.
Oh, I love it.
It's so much fun.
Florida man never disappoints, man.
If you were on it, and say you and Liz and Harmony are on there,
Yeah.
and you're riding, and all of a sudden holy shit.
Yeah.
Do you confront him and
I'd
tell
have
him
to choke him out and take over the
you
take
would,
over the
Robbie?
controls.
You know, in that situation, I would look at another man,
Yeah.
and I would go, "Hey, man, you feel like is
Yeah,
this guy?"
if our lives were in danger, if
Yeah.
things were looking really
You gotta
sketchy,
do that,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you would.
But is a trolley on a track?
I mean, a trolley can be on wheels. It just
Yeah.
it looks like a trolley, but it's got
You're right. It can be on like a
like
car.
a car. They
Yeah.
just built to look like a trolley.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. I don't
they,
think
they, they used to be electric though. They used to have like a cable, right?
So in
That they-
fact, where I grew up, when they tore up the streets of the old cars, they dumped all the track concrete in the runoff of Herring Run Park. So like you walk down there, you see these huge slabs of concrete with rails in them. I
Wow.
grew up running across those things and playing on
Yeah,
them.
I've seen all the old pictures of the old trolleys
Yeah,
in Baltimore.
yeah, it was cool,
it's
man. Used to run right up Harford Road.
Yeah,
You know, you hit the bell, get off. I don't remember it. I remember the buses.
right.
You know? Did you ever ride City Bus, MTA?
I did once when I was in 9th grade because we both went to Curly.
Yeah.
So
You used to
took
take the bus
buses
to
there.
Curly? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you took the MTA?
Yep.
Yeah. So where you grew up, what bus did you take?
God, I can't remember. Bel Air Road. What was Bel Air Road?
Was that the 10? No. I was on the 19.
I forget. I had to do that.
Might
and
have
then,
been
then
the
I
8.
transferred.
I think the 8 was Bel Air Road.
I don't know.
I don't
I
either.
can't remember.
Yeah. And then you transferred
Yeah.
at what? Erdman?
Erdman. Yep.
Yeah, down-
Yep. And then I had to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You still took the bus down Erdman, right?
Yeah, but then there was
To
still
the
like
corner.
a quarter mile of a
Right.
walk.
Right. Where
you
it
know?
let you off. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
I was-
part of the reason I left the school.
Is it really?
Well, all my friends were just living in my neighborhood now
Yeah.
at the time, and I had to get up at like I don't know what time it was, 5:00 in the morning to catch all those buses and transfer and walk. And I was like, I could be to school in 15 minutes
Right.
at the end of my street, catch
Save
the
me,
bus,
and I get an extra
Yeah.
hour sleep.
yeah, and go to school with all my friends in the neighborhood.
Are you
So-
glad you changed?
Yeah. I mean, I love both schools. I'll say that.
What do you think you would have gotten at Curly that you didn't get at Parkville, say?
I don't know. Maybe-
Religion? I'm not being funny. Like
No. I just think that
more discipline?
maybe more discipline.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I went to both. I do think Catholic school is a little, I think there's a little more leniency for the teachers to rally the troops, so to speak, when things get a little rowdy.
Yeah.
Because they got Jesus with them. And,
Well, especially back in our day. I mean, if you went to
Dude.
Catholic school in the 70s and 80s,
oh my God.
you could get disciplined back then, man.
Oh, is that what they called one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah.
I got hit straight across the face with a ruler, and then them wooden rulers.
Oh, yeah.
She just went like
Right.
backhand, like
Right.
slapped me in the face with it. A nun.
Oh, yeah. Nuns, they would poke you. They would poke you with the bony finger. They could drag you by your ear. They pull you by your ear down the hall.
Sister James Albert told me, "Don't even try it, boy. I got the best left hook in South Baltimore." I swear to
She
you,
probably did.
Sister James. No, yes, Sister James Albert. Was that her name?
Sister
Yes.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, basically, and I actually liked her, but
Yeah.
dude, tough as nails. And she was at her whole career she had spent at St. Mary's Star of the Sea in South Baltimore.
Some of those ladies, man,
Dude,
I don't
they-
even think they like children. It's like, why'd you get in this teaching school?
But they don't like anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Miserable, just miserable.
How can a woman so close to God be so mean?
Right.
Didn't make sense to me.
Didn't make sense to me either.
Yeah, I you know.
And then, don't get me wrong, there were some very nice nuns that I had.
Oh, incredible!
Throughout school as well.
One of the greatest men I ever met in my life was Father Bill Burke,
Yeah.
the Monsignor of St. Francis. I credit him to this day with at least making me feel like I mattered in a world where I felt like I wasn't a part of.
Yeah.
And when I was young.
But there were some evil witches from hell that were dressed up as nuns teaching children back in the day.
My nun had 2 men names.
Yeah.
Sister James Albert.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude,
Sister
I would,
James Brown.
dude, I mean, I'm telling
Hmm.
you right now, if she wasn't a nun, she'd have worked at a can company, open them with her teeth. I mean, this woman was hard as nails.
Yeah.
I would not have fist fought her if I was a grown ass man.
Yeah. I
Don't
get
know
it.
what ever happened to the lady, but yeah, she cracked me a couple times. Was not afraid of anything.
No.
No, I mean I respected her. You know what I mean?
I
did.
guess, man. We had this woman that was a nun. I think it was my first or third grade or something. I can't remember what grade, but she hated kids, treated us like garbage.
Yeah,
And then we had like Parents' Day,
yeah,
and all of a sudden she was like Glenda
charming as
she
hell.
was Glenda the Good Witch.
right. Yeah,
And all the kids would turn around. We're like, she's not really like this.
right. Yeah, yeah.
You know, we were all doing
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So it was she was phony.
yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you know, I remember
It's like,
something.
why don't you just be nice like this all the time?
Dude, St. Francis
Yeah.
had a 3rd grade teacher, legendary, named Miss Bailey.
Yeah.
She had been there 100 years, whatever. And Miss McClary was 4th grade. So I started Catholic school in the 4th grade. Miss McClary was my teacher twice because I failed 4th grade. But she was my teacher. And we went to math in Miss Bailey's class. She was 4'8", about 440 pounds, and would
Wow.
stand on your foot
Get out
if
of
you
here.
were acting up.
That was her punishment?
She would put all her weight
Oh my God.
on your little third.
Was she a nun too?
No, she was not a
Whoa.
nun. She was a phenomenal
That's
teacher.
what Jesus would have done, though.
Well, Jesus didn't weigh 420. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you right now, my experience with Catholic school
Yeah.
was way different than public school. My public school 9th grade history teacher,
Yeah.
I walked in the class, said Towson High School, and he started talking, and I fell asleep, right? And he woke me up, and I apologized. I said, I'm very sorry. So after class, I said to him, I said, listen, I know all this stuff. And he's like, what? And I go, because I went to public school from private. And I'm not going to lie to you, we were like a year ahead, almost year and a half
Yeah.
in certain subjects.
Mhm.
So I was like, yeah, I know all about this stuff. And he looks at me and he goes, oh, really? I go, yeah. He goes, well, how about this? I give you the test tomorrow. If you pass it, you can sleep every day in my class and I'll never say a word. And I went, okay. And I got a 96 on it.
That's hilarious.
And I slept every period after
Get
lunch.
out of here, really?
And he gave me straight A's.
That's funny, man. That's a great story.
I took the test every time. Every week I had to take the quiz. And then what's it every
This
month?
is what subject?
History.
In history.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really like history.
I
don't you?
love history.
Yeah.
I love it. And I love religion because of the history of religion.
Yeah, right.
I don't like the dogma. I don't care about really, but the history's
Yeah,
fascinating.
it is.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating.
That's all I fill my brain with is history
Yeah.
because I learned from the past.
Yep.
You know, like my first run at radio, I learned something. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This time I got a partner who knows what the hell they're doing. See, I learned, Matt. I learned, buddy. All right, that's the facts, Matt. God, it's 7:00, dude.
I know. Hey, listen, we got to mention that tomorrow we have
Yes.
a ghost hunter. coming to
Yeah. Oh
join
my
us.
God, that's right.
So we're going to interview her all about, all the ghost hunting she's done. She's got a lot of stories.
Yeah.
And she's bringing in equipment too, like the equipment they use. You ever see that stuff on the shows?
Oh, like the Geiger meters or whatever. Not Geiger meter.
I forget I don't even know what they're called.
EM
Oh, EG, not EG.
electronic something.
She'll
Yeah,
tell us tomorrow.
It's E something.
yeah.
E something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those people fascinate me.
Are you a little freaked out that she might find something in this building that we're in?
No,
No?
because we're gonna have a fun discussion tomorrow. Because
Yeah.
I'm going to say what I believe is going on,
Yeah.
and then let her educate me.
Yep.
Is that a fair thing?
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
Yeah.
like you know how sometimes we have guests, and I'm like, I don't know.
She'll be here promoting. They've got like a ghost hunting thing coming up at Kim's Crypt.
Oh,
as
awesome.
Well. So we'll talk about that as well.
So you go up to the haunted mill Kim's crib,
Yeah,
and do this shit.
and see what's in
Oh,
there.
see, that's different level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm freaked out just because it's dark and I'm in a state that doesn't have any police within a half an hour away. You know what I mean? That's a very rural
Oh,
area.
when you leave there at night when it's dark.
Oh yeah.
ooh.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You don't feel haunted till you
That
don't feel
place-
that it's unhaunted till you hit 83.
Yeah.
You
That
know what I
place
mean?
is so wild, though. I mean,
know.
it's amazing. Kim's
Incredible.
Crypt.
So
Yeah.
tomorrow we're doing that. I want to thank Natalie's Seafood Kitchen.
Yeah, let's do some music.
Well, you want to, or you just
Yeah,
want to?
of course. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's do it quick. What do we got? Here it is, Natalie's Seafood Kitchen. We will be there Friday at 5. We've talked about it so much. It is the best restaurant in Hartford County for seafood. Get up there and get your grub on because and the tiki bar is incredible. Live entertainment 7 nights a week. Thank you, Natalie's. Here is Matt's Music Minute.
All right. So we talked about the Fire Festival in the past. The brand is now for sale on eBay. Mick.
How much?
Bidding is currently up to $200,000.
That's all?
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on, man. This is the Fire Festival, one of the most notorious non-events in the history of music. And, this guy should probably be a star salesman somewhere. He could sell,
Well, most
ice cubes to Eskimos. Billy McFarland, he served almost 4 years in prison
yeah.
when the original Fire Festival fell through in 2017. An attempt to get Fire Festival 2 going was also a bust, but the guy sold a bunch of really expensive tickets for it,
But
even
everybody-
after that documentary.
But everybody was refunded this time, right?
I don't know that for sure, but I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But in an Instagram video, he says, quote, whoever owns the Fire brand will have an attention engine to launch festivals, do merch collabs, do insane pop-ups, run live streams, or build a media brand.
I agree with the guy.
Well, you know what I agree with, man? I mean, that list of people
Yes.
is worth gold because they'll buy
million.
anything.
Yeah.
They're buying Fire Festival
Yeah.
tickets.
Yeah.
That list would be what would be worth $200,000 to me.
Yeah.
You could sell them anything.
I
Yeah.
agree with you.
So yeah, people are biting. As of last night, there were 99 bids on Firefest. The price was up to $200,000, but there's 6 days left. If you want to
What
get
do
in
you-
on some
you
of
want-
that action,
Why don't we make a prediction here? Let's bet $1 between you and I. Closest one
how
wins.
high it's going to get?
Yeah, what do you think the final number is going to be?
I bet it doesn't get much higher. I'm gonna say 225.
I'm going to say 670.
All right,
So what's your number?
225.
Write these down.
$225,000.
I'm going to say 650.
All right.
So you write yours down, and 650 is mine. And when it's over, we'll double check. And the
All right.
closest one, above or below,
Yep.
wins. Deal?
Deal.
We'll have to find out what that middle number is between the two of them.
Yeah, I'll be real curious to see. So Paul McCartney put this up on his Instagram. It's 2 of his guitar picks. The white one has his name printed in red, and the blue one says "Got Back" in 2025. "Got Back" has been the name of his tour since 2022, which was the last time he toured the U.S. So we're wondering if he's going to tour with the guitar picks displaying the colors red, white, and blue. There's speculation that he will soon be announcing U.S. dates. McCartney's last public U.S. performances were this past February when he did 3 club shows in New York City, along with a performance on Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary special. And his last tour was in the fall of 2024 in South America, Central America, France, Spain, and England.
I'm going to put an offer in for him to play here.
Play in Baltimore.
Yeah, at the theater.
He was just here not too long ago.
I know,
right?
he'll do it
Oh,
again,
at
man.
our theater.
Yeah, I really think if I ask him,
Yeah,
he'll do it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Come on, Macca.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Paul. You owe me, bro. He does. People don't know that, but he owes me.
People don't know that, but he does.
Yeah, he owes me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Paul McCartney owes me.
So Led Zeppelin, we've been talking about Live Aid's 40th anniversary, which is coming up. And here's why Led Zeppelin probably won't be a part of it. So the 40th anniversary of Live Aid is this Sunday.
Yeah.
And if you want to relive the moment in music history, the official YouTube channel will be celebrating with over 10 hours of footage.
Wow.
A 4-part documentary called Live Aid When Rock and Roll Took on the World will also premiere on CNN at 9 p.m. Sunday night. But don't expect to see Led Zeppelin there, they're saying. The 3-song set that reunited Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, and John Paul Jones was such a disaster that they've refused to let any footage of it be included on the official releases.
I don't know how they can do that.
I mean, they I guess they own the rights to their
It's just
footage.
amazing to me that All those guys did all that for all that charity, and then they still had the right to say,
Yeah.
no, we're not going to do it anymore.
Yeah, to the recordings. You know, I mean, it's the recordings of their music.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You got to have licensing.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Page previously mentioned in a former interview that Phil Collins, who was one of two drummers filling in for the late John Bonham, couldn't properly play the beginning of Rock and Roll. Plus, they got less than 2 hours to rehearse.
Yeah.
Phil isn't too fond of the performance either. He says if he could have walked off, he would have, because he didn't feel needed and felt like a spare part in the performance.
Wow.
Yeah.
By the way, do you know the beginning of Rock and Roll? Do you know it, Matt? 'Cause I know you play drums.
Do I know how to play it, or
Yeah,
do I
have you
know
ever
what it
played
is?
it?
No.
It's funny. I was taught by the great Tim Steele that it's either, I can't remember if it's Little Richard or Chuck Berry.
Oh, I've heard that
It's
before.
a guitar riff.
I've heard that.
And it's on the drums. It's just,
Yeah.
and that's what Bonham did.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. And then once you know, I think it's Hear Me Knocking. You hear me knocking, but you can't come
I've
in.
heard somebody say this before. I don't know.
It's
who
a
it is.
true thing.
Yeah.
And when I learned it, I was like, oh my God, then it's really
So you
easy.
can play it now.
Yeah, because you know what you're playing. When you go into that rhythm blind, you don't even know where it starts. You don't know what number he's on and how it comes. So it's bizarre. But if you just
They should have had you, man. They should have brought you in.
Right. Yeah. Then they would have played Black Dog. And
I mean, Page and Plant owe you too, don't they?
Well, I don't want to get into it, Matt. I mean, we're on the show live. I don't want to expose anybody. Come on. Have some goof, my friend. What the hell's wrong with you? Putting their business out there like that.
So we talked.
I mean, you write one song called When the Levee Breaks, and they won't leave you alone for 50 years.
Right.
God, I gave you one, guys. Do the work yourselves.
So we talked about Kelly Osbourne facing.
She looked hot, by the way. I went and looked at the pic.
Oh, I think they're both. I don't know if she is. I know for sure that Sharon is on Ozempic, so they both got really thin.
Well, what I mean is, I always thought Kelly had like a very pretty face.
Yeah.
Like I thought she was a pretty girl. I did, and I think Sharon's an attractive woman. But when I saw Kelly,
I think they're too much on the surgeries and.
Well, I get that
Ozempic
whole Hollywood
and all that.
bullshit.
Yeah.
By the way, you know why I want to get famous?
Yeah. Why?
Now in my life, because I just want to show America what it's like to age gracefully.
Yeah.
To say, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? I didn't do any work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I got nothing.
No BBL for you, Brazilian butt lift.
Not after I heard how they stink. Hell no. No, I don't need no help in the ass stink department. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. So Kelly got engaged over the at the Black Sabbath show over the weekend. Her partner, Slipknot star Sid Wilson, proposed to her backstage at her father Ozzy Osbourne's farewell tour with Black Sabbath. And in a heartwarming moment captured on Instagram, Sid professed his love for Kelly and asked her to marry him, to which Ozzy jokingly objected. Despite the joyous occasion, Kelly is already facing a dilemma. She prefers to live in the UK, while Sid is from the US. So
bye, Sid. Miss you, buddy.
I don't feel too bad for me because they have the means, I'm sure, to have houses on both continents.
Listen,
you know,
when you hear people talk like that, oh, we're not sure what continent we're gonna live on.
We're gonna have to get multiple continental locations.
Yeah. I think that people at that level, that you definitely lose track of reality.
Oh, of course.
But I enjoy it when they're just honest about it. Do you remember Suzanne Summers from Three's Company?
Yeah.
I forget the show she was on. It may have been Politically Correct with Bill Maher years ago. And the subject of these people, the rich, wealthy people, were paying outrageous amounts of money to go live like in Vietnam and Southeast Asia, where it's very poor and you live in these little grass huts.
And they would pay outrageous money to do that?
To experience. That was their vacation for a month.
Wow.
They went and lived in the Amazon with the people.
Whoa.
But it was crazy money. And Suzanne Summers sitting there. And somebody said to her,
I'm sorry, just to clarify. So this is like a tourist company would charge them a lot of money to give them this experience.
Yeah, and I think that
couldn't you just go into the jungle by yourself?
Yeah, I mean, you'd be killed.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
you know, but I think this was safe and you could go live poor.
I got you.
It was basically a poor person's experience.
Yeah.
What's it like to be poor?
Oh my God.
What's it like to eat a goat? You know, like that kind of that you pet this morning.
Yeah.
Right. So she's sitting there and she's listening to these people talk about it like, oh, what a wonderful experience. And she goes, I'm sorry, call me old fashioned, but If it's my vacation, I prefer the Hollywood, Hilton.
Sure.
I want the
Yeah.
Four Seasons.
Right.
And they all looked at her like, and I'm like, I'm the poor guy,
Yeah.
not them. And I'm going, by the way, she's right.
Yeah.
I don't want to go live in a hut
Of course.
just for an experience for my vacation.
Yeah. Right.
I want that to happen to me by circumstance of bad decisions.
I mean, if you want, I'll charge you $50,000 to sleep in my backyard for a
yeah.
week.
I mean, that's what it was like.
Yeah.
Like these, and by the way, have you seen the outrage going on in Europe right now about Americans, like that are defecting?
Regarding what?
Regarding like culture in other countries, American liberals. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say liberals. American, like rich elites
Okay.
are going, and then they're relocating to Europe
Yeah.
to live, and then they're like trying to force American.
Well, I
things.
know Mexico is freaking out right now. There was a giant riot in Mexico City
because of people getting sent back. Did you hear that?
Well, it was about Americans coming there,
right?
Like, so these rich Americans could come down there and live very inexpensively.
Correct.
But it's driving the locals' rent
Through the roof.
Yeah, yeah. So they were mad and they were just trashing Mexico City.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, these horrible rich white people went in there and made it better, like their living situations.
Yeah.
That's like the big argument,
Yeah.
right? They made it better, and I always say this is the truth. That's their country, right?
Of course.
Let them do their stuff.
Yeah.
And I
don't
feel
don't
this-
drive up the rent.
Yeah, I feel the same way here. Like, this is our country. We do our stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't try to change what we do. We'll change what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, all right, what did we learn today, Matt? A couple of things. A, cats suck still.
Come on, man. Cats are the most wonderful creatures.
A new bit we're going to figure out how to do is the truth detector. I don't want to
can't
call it
wait.
a lie detector.
Yeah, we got to get with our partner about that.
Yeah.
That sounds so cool.
Find out a way
Yeah.
to do it.
So, yeah, if you are a person who wants to prove that you're truthful to somebody, contact us.
Mickey Talks Pod. MICKEY Talks Pod.com or at gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
Mickey Talks Pod at gmail.com. Speaking of which, everyone reach out anytime. Everybody on Rumble, thank you. If you donated today, you're amazing. Facebook, we love you. You're the OGs. We know that. And everybody else, YouTube, all the sound people. Thank you. We love all the audio people. We love you and we appreciate you. We will see you tomorrow at 5 with Ghost Hunter. See you, everybody. Bye.